This is where the fun begins.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Sidcast podcast, a Star Wars podcast where we pretty much talk anything and everything Star Wars. I'm one of your hosts, PJ the Paradox Nerd, alongside my co-host, Anthony, aka BMX Jedi. Sean Soul should be hopping on pretty soon. And we got a returning guest, one of our favorite guests, Matt from Rogue One 6. Thank you for hopping on the show, Matt. So
I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun things to talk about.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, a lot. So, but just really quick, I just kind of want to promote your channel in the beginning here. So, can you let everyone know where they could find you?
Yeah, we're Rogue One 6. So you know, it's Jason and CC and I, and we we're just small group, small channel, but you know, building back up, and we do lives every other weekend or so, and put out a little like product spotlight stuff every now and then, and some chats with Tom every now and then. Yeah, it's fun.
I saw that one. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, and you got your you ordered yours, but you didn't get it in, correct?
Yeah, I think all the Yuzums that are not on payment plans have gone to people. So
okay, gotcha.
If you've got a payment plan, it's it's coming when you finish the payment plan.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think. So so I was like, yeah, I'll just wait. But I think Jason ended up getting his in, so we were able to open it. It's cool. It's interesting. It's kind of fascinating having the person that made the thing on while you open it. Like he has a lot to say about a lot of this stuff. It's kind of crazy. So it was a good time.
All right, cool. Let's listen. We got a lot to talk about, and Revenge of the Sith just returned in the theaters starting today. I literally just got back home from watching Revenge of the Sith on 4DX. And yeah, it was my first time watching a movie, especially a Star Wars movie on 4DX.
Was it cool in 4DX?
I mean,
were they like spraying water at you and like what were they doing?
There was a lot of I was telling Anthony, and Anthony knows this, a lot of hot magma being thrown around in people's faces. No, I'm just kidding. There's no hot magma.
Was there like heat?
There was heat. So it's cool. Really? Yeah, there was like smoke. You could smell the smoke if like
the burning flesh.
Yeah, burning. Well, yeah, actually, yes. There was like a little stench. Like like it's weird. Like I was scared because I'm like, I hope this is not like carbon monoxide or anything that's just being sprayed out. Like
we'll find out like in 20 years. Like if you went to a 4DX theater from this year to this year, you could be entitled to settlement.
Yes, you went to watch 4DX when the Revenge of the Sith came out. So it was really cool. Would I do a 4DX movie again? Probably not, because I get motion sickness. So I thought my interpretation.
Do the seats like rock or something?
Yeah, they rock, dude. Like I felt like sometimes like I'm falling off my seat. So the thing too is that like I get it. I understand that it moves when there's a spaceship battle or whatever, but they kind of did it for every action sequence, like where if there's a lightsaber fight scene, like it's moving a lot. And I'm crazy. Like I don't like need that much movement all the time.
Yeah.
Like the only time that it wasn't moving was when there were conversations happening.
Was it moving when she gave birth to Luke and Leia?
That would have been weird. I was wondering. I was like, what
am I smelling right now?
What is the birth of a child? Awkward is getting awkward, but yeah. It is a very interesting. Would I recommend it? Yes, go watch. Listen, I'm pretty sure people have watched Revenge of the Sith multiple times, And I think to experience it, if there's a 4DX theater near you, definitely do it. But just be mindful of that. If you are motion sensitive or are prone for motion sickness, it may not be the best experience. I would say, because I have motion sickness. So was I able to get through the movie? Totally. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. It's Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I was able to get the popcorn buckets, the posters.
Cool.
I got posters for Anthony and Sean.
So let me ask you this: would you say it's kind of like I cannot remember what the name of the movie was, but there was a movie that was almost filmed as if it was the perspective of like a first-person shooter?
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I'm talking about? That movie?
Yeah,
it's just all over the place, and
where you feel like you're kind of it feels like a Disney ride. You ever go to like one of those rides in Disney and it's like a big screen and it's like
it's like Star Tours.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is a very long Star Tours movie.
Yeah,
basically.
Could you imagine watching Jaws in 4DX?
Yeah, I see. The thing is, so the seats are not super comfortable, right? They're kind of like
That's no, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just try it since if you have a 4DX movie theater near you, definitely try it.
Yeah, we don't have one.
Yeah,
there might be one up in Raleigh.
I'd rather go to like a lay down theater, like one of those theaters with really nice chairs, and
that's what we have. Where you can definitely recline.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing too: is that like Revenge of the Sith is back in the movie theater, and mind you, like watching it in the big screen still holds up. Like because the pacing is well done. Like it's just the dialogue. Even when I'm listening to Natalie Portman too, like and Ewan McGregor may not be the best, right? Because of the writing. But in the
worst acting Natalie Portman has ever done.
Yeah, it's just
I think she's not good in that movie, but
yeah, I mean, it's just the writing. I think that
the movie overall is amazing, but
it was great.
Sean and I are going to see it tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like it's not you're not able to see it in Dolby Cinema, right? Or even IMAX, which I'm kind of like wish that they did the transfer so you could watch it in IMAX. I'm hoping like the future Star Wars movie are able to be converted to IMAX format or even like a Dolby, just because it's like, but it's cool. Definitely recommend.
Why could they not be an IMAX?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think the question is, I mean, I don't know. Because I know all the like Avengers, all the Marvel movies that they've shot were able to be transferred over into that IMAX, scope. But I don't, and I don't think all of them were shot in IMAX necessarily. But I don't know. They might have been shot at a larger ratio. I don't know. I'm not sure how it works. I don't know how they did that.
Or even like Dolby, like just so that you experience the sound, at least, because that would be such a great movie to watch in Dolby format. But hey, listen, I still had a good time. And I really encourage people to go watch it. My movie theater was packed, by the way.
Nice.
So I'm assuming just because it is the best one out of the prequels, I think there's a lot of people that are going to watch this movie.
Yeah, Sean and I went and saw Phantom Menace. Was that last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went and saw that when it came out. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do Attack of the Clones.
There's no anniversary. Yeah. So it's the 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith. So they kind of did it that way. Matt, are you planning to watch it in the movie theaters again?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't go to the movies a lot anyway, just because we have a kind of a small like theater set up in our house now. So like it's kind of it doesn't make a lot of sense anymore. It's just so damn expensive anymore to go to the theater. So
yeah,
I try to avoid it. And on top of that, it's I don't know. I just don't know if I'd go for the prequels, to be honest. I think they're good movies. Like I think the Revenge of the Sith is a great movie, but it doesn't crack. I don't even think it's in my top. I don't think it's in my top 5.
Yeah. Well, For me, it's number 2. So
yeah, I get it. I get it. I think mine's Return of the Jedi, Empire, Rogue One. Gosh, what's after that?
Yeah, when is Rogue One?
New Hope.
When's what? How long?
Maybe it is in the top. I can't remember. I'd have to really go back and check, but it's a great movie.
Yeah, Rogue One. Is there how long has it been out of the movie theater?
I don't know.
2016.
So maybe next year Rogue One.
Because wasn't A Force Awakens was 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
maybe
honestly, what they should have done is I don't know what the thought was. They should have done Rogue One going back into theaters at the end of Andor playing.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done. That would have been really cool if we could have gone watch the whole season of Andor and then go to the theater to watch Rogue One.
Go through theaters. Well, that's what I'm planning to do.
Yeah.
Well, not to the theater, but to watch the thing. So, and there's Sean.
What's up?
What's
up, Matt? What's going on, guys?
Hey.
All
right. So let's actually, speaking of Andor, we'll just talk about it briefly, and then we're gonna dive into it a little bit later. But Matt, what's your thoughts on the first 3 episodes of just a brief? Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I'm a huge fan of Andor, the first season of Andor. So like, I'm not one of those Star Wars fans that thinks it was super slow and boring and whatever. Like, I think it's probably some of the best Star Wars we've ever seen on TV. Like, I don't, especially when you take into account all the stuff that they've made, like, Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan and Acolyte. I mean, the acting in this, the level of actor they have in this, like, the settings, like all the places look actually shot in like real places in most of the case, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's incredible. Yeah, I think it's really, really good. I enjoyed it. I was talking to Jason this morning about it, and I was mentioning there's only a couple things that really bother me about Andor, and one of them
season 2.
Season 2, one of them bothered me in season 1. So one of the things is that I feel like they spend a lot of time in one place sometimes. Like this current season of Andor, this isn't spoiling anything, but it's like he's at that, he lands that whatever.
The TIE Interceptor prototype, right?
In that place, in that place with all those people, and he gets in that situation. But he's in that for like two episodes. It's like, I don't think we needed that. I just don't think we needed to do that.
It served no purpose.
It doesn't serve a lot of purpose, right? And so unless it comes back later, and that's what I'm kind of giving it like, hey, it's fine. Like, you never know what's going to come back into it. The harvesting area, I understood, because that makes a sense. You're seeing kind of they're putting their hand on, their pressure on people. The Mon Mothma thing, I get it, right? You're seeing the kind of the political side of things and how all that's playing out with Luthen and some other people there. That was the only thing. And I remember that in the first season where I think they spent a little too much time in certain places, and that bothered me. And I think that goes to the slowness of some of it sometimes. But I will say, okay, so first, that's number 1. Number 2 is, it bothers me that we don't see, and we didn't in the first season either, we don't see a lot of aliens or androids or robots or whatever. Droids. We just don't see a lot of them in Andor. Like, season 1 didn't have a lot of aliens in it. And
the political aspect would have been a perfect opportunity for that.
You're right. Even if they had put one alien in the crew of people that he got caught by, right? Like, it makes a lot of sense to have aliens scattered throughout because they're there, right? Even a droid. Like, I was even telling Jason, like, it's a perfect opportunity. Because I know we're gonna see K2SO. There's no question. But it's a perfect opportunity to put K2SO droid in the like harvesting area where they got all those people, and you think it's K2SO, but it's not K2SO, right? You're constantly going, when is K2SO gonna be K2SO? But there's droids are all over the place, right? Like, K2SO units are like, they're everywhere in a sense with the Empire. So like, you don't know which one he's gonna actually turn into K2SO, right? So I think that would have been fun. So those kind of things bothered me a little bit, but dude, the beginning of the show was incredible.
Shoot. Oh my
I thought
god,
an absolute stunner of a beginning for the show.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree, and
Loved it.
I loved it. And the thing too is like for me, like I wasn't. It's not like I didn't like season 1. I just thought that it was just what we're used to from Star Wars. This was it took me by surprise, right?
Yeah.
I was blindsided by like, whoa, what the heck? Whoa, the pacing's again one of my issues. Like, which I agree with you, Matt, is we spend too much time in one place.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna, like I said, deep dive into it later. I loved it. I definitely enjoyed it a lot better than season 1. The pacing's a lot better, and I think it's because, I think they're doing every 3 episodes a year. I'm not too sure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think I heard something about that. Yeah.
But like my only issue is that like we crash landed into this place, and then we spent way too much time with those people, and those guys were just really quick.
Yeah.
Not the smartest, I think, but I don't think
Definitely
you have to emphasize that by having the rock, paper, scissor game.
No, but see, I think that's going to come back though, PJ, because
I'm like,
the planet they were on.
Yeah.
Is, I mean, that's the rebel base, right? Like what will be the rebel base, right? Like, Yavin. So like, I think that's where the thing is going to come back to. I don't know if those guys will come back, but like the planet, I think you're going to benefit from coming back to that. Obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear that was part of my problem too. It's like they spend a little bit too much time in certain places. And we already kind of know the characters. We don't need to know get to know Cassian anymore. We don't need to get to know Bex anymore and some of these people. So we don't need to, I don't think we need to spend as much time in some of these, but I think what we need to do is get going and actually like move along and get to the point where you get to Rogue One, right? It's going to take, you don't want it to be like this every 3 episodes where you're just slogging along, right? Through the season. I don't think it's going to be that way. I
don't think so either.
I just really respect the idea of Andor. And the fact that they are, they do take a little bit of their time, sure, but the writing and acting and quality is just, it's amazing.
Really I definitely agree with you. I love the pacing is better for me. My wife definitely enjoyed this season, and she wasn't a huge fan of the first one,
right?
But she loved this first 3 episodes, and the costume design,
amazing.
Holy shoot! If they don't win an Emmy for this,
especially the Mon Mothma area was incredible.
Holy shoot!
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But yeah. Average.
Real quick, all I'll say is for something else. One thing I have seen some pushback from around the internet, I guess, on the whole like sexual assault thing that happened in the 3rd episode.
That
they were showing. And some people were bothered by that. I'm not bothered by that because I think they're
maturing
I mean, look, it's a little bit more of a mature audience. The Andor and Andor season 2. So I think they can do stuff like that. I think it's also just the reality of the situation. There's a lot of shitty people in the world. And I think in the Empire, there's even more shitty people. I would say there's a lot of really crappy people. And I can understand that. I just think that it's the same way I felt about the argument of Acolyte, where it's like, why do we have to put gay people in this, or why do we have to put like an Asian person? It's like, what? Like these people, this is normal life. This, like, look around you. This is normal life. Like, why are we not putting this? Like, if you don't think creativity is affected by the life you live, like the normal life you live around you, like you're crazy. Like that's the life we live, right? There's all kinds of different people in this world. That's what makes it beautiful. And so I think the Star Wars universe should be even more that way, which is why I'd like to see more aliens and all kinds of people in this, because I think that's what it is, right? It's just all kinds of things. So I think there's going to be a lot of shitty people in this, and you've got to. I think you really have to be able to see how bad the Empire is, and that's just another way to see it, right?
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it made sense to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, and before we get brief thoughts and thoughts from Sean and Anthony, what's your overall score for the first 3 episodes? Average.
Man, the first episode was so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say for the first 3, I'd probably give it a 7 or 7. Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
Just because I think it was a little bit slow at times.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I still really enjoyed it. I couldn't stop watching. Like I started watching it a little bit late last night, but I couldn't stop. Like I was up late just watching because I couldn't stop myself. It was so good.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. How about you, Sean? What's your?
I enjoyed it. Like I said, you know me, I was always a fan of Andor the first season, and then, like the first episode was amazing. Like, how does it not? And then
Really catches you.
So I know a lot of people are talking about, the wedding and this, like, okay, the wedding was just a means to an end, so they can kind of tell, you got to push Mon Mothma forward somehow. And I always call that guy Chancellor Valorum, the boyfriend guy.
Yeah,
he looks like him, right?
Yeah. Similar type character.
So they're using him, and they've got to steer her away from this lifestyle that she's in. They probably could have shortened it. It was a little too long.
I agree.
And then I know people are talking about, drinking and dancing. I'm like, yeah, they dance all the time. Ewoks dance. There's cantinas. They drink. It's, they try to humanize it as much as possible.
Sure.
They could have shortened that a little bit and gave us a little bit more.
Don't you think though, Sean, don't you think that was part of seeing how unhinged not unhinged, but like how on the edge Mon Mothma is?
Yeah. She needed to get drunk to let it
you're
loose.
just seeing how many strings are being pulled and how in all these different directions, and both her and Luthen are like, I don't want to ruin anything, but with the whole Luthen thing especially at the end where he's like looking at her like something's got to be done about this.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
It was so good.
But when they showed Valorum, that's going to be his name because I can't remember his name. But when they showed him drive off, I'm like, that dude's dead.
He's done.
I'm like, it was like a mafia hit,
I know.
But
that girl, isn't that girl the girl that
that's the girlfriend?
Yes, right.
She's the girlfriend of the redhead girl. Yeah,
Right.
I guess that's Mon Mothma's cousin, the redhead. I think that's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why she's there the whole time, right?
Yeah.
She's there during the whole procession.
But I totally get the whole wedding thing because, like you said, they were just showing the lifestyle she lives. And then I think her one last, when she reached out to her daughter and was like, listen, we don't have to do this. Let's just screw this. And then the daughter was like, snarky ass comment. And then Mon Mothma was like, all right, she had her last tear and she was done. Because I think we're going to see her leave shortly. You know what I mean? So I think
everything we see of Mon Mothma anywhere else, she's just by herself. Like, you don't see anybody else.
You don't see any family. You don't see any kids.
So
I kind of I thought the same thing, but I kind of think like her family's going to die. Or
really?
I think
either that or I think there could be a kind of like, you have a civil war and you have like some family members don't see eye to eye. Yeah. It could be that like they like the lifestyle they live.
Yeah.
And they don't understand what she's fighting for. So
that's more
there could be like an estranged family.
Yeah.
Either that or they're gonna die. Like maybe
I think her husband
get killed to get to her.
I think her dude's kind of a piece of shit. So like I think he's probably honestly gonna
he might rat her out.
He might peace out and try to just like with her daughter. But
that's
even to be like a little bit of a wuss.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with every 3 episodes. If we have a time jump, we might not even see that.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. And that's the reason I had that thought where that was her last chance to kind of reach out to her daughter, and her daughter kind of dissed her. And she was just basically like, F you.
You know what the daughter reminded me of? It reminded me of Game of Thrones with, oh God, what's the redheaded girl's name? How she wanted to be the princess, the queen, and she had like goggles on, didn't even see reality.
Yeah.
That's what the daughter reminded me of.
But
Yeah.
like I said, that the wedding was fine. It was a little long-winded, but then when they were on Yavin and met, like you said, there should have been aliens in there. Should have mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the only thing I really disliked was that rock, paper, scissors thing was stupid.
I'm telling you, man.
Like that was dumb. Like you're over there talking about wanting to fight each other.
Exactly.
And you're shooting at each other, but then you're going to play rock, paper, scissors. I'm like, that's just dumb.
And then, I'm going to say, we talk about the acting, right, throughout the whole show. Can I tell you, those actors, those guys, their acting sucked.
They weren't super great. There was a couple that were decent.
It's just because it felt out of place. Like, everyone's like, amazing. And
again,
then
BJ, this is, I just think they could have shortened that whole thing.
Yeah,
this is the one argument. This is the one thing that bothers me, that has bothered me about Andor, even though I love the show. I just think they take a little bit too much time on certain things that they don't need to.
And then if it was 8 episodes, then they would rush it at the end like they do all the other ones. But that whole situation, like you said, was probably too long. Yeah. The only thing we got out of that there's people on Yavin. That's where Andor was supposed to meet somebody, and that was it. It didn't have to take an episode and a half or whatever,
right?
To show that. You know,
there was no point in him getting captured.
Well, I think the idea was that they needed him to be away for a certain amount of time and unreachable, and Luthen's trying to figure out where is he and all that stuff. So that was the whole point of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the other side of it is that just to bring Yavin in early on so that you come back to it later. You know what I mean? Like, there's a point, there's got to be something about that planet that they're meeting there. And it's like the early version of that base, right? Where they can a safe place to meet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
But then I was going to say, and then with the whole rape thing, like at first I was kind of thrown off by it. I'm like, this isn't Star Wars, but I think they're just going to start showing how evil the Empire is.
Yeah.
I know there's certain people that I've talked to that are like, oh, the Empire's doing good. They're just trying to create a society for these people, and the rebels are the bad people. They're called rebels.
So they're wanting
so they're wanting to rebel against them. But I think they're trying to introduce why they're rebelling against them.
Sure,
they're this evil. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the same, don't you think? With like, I mean, I think I was watching something today where someone was saying the same thing, and you know, I was thinking about it. I think this other guy mentioned it too, that like, you know, Anakin chokes Padme when she's pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, which is a horrible thing to do. He kills a whole camp of Tusken Raiders and all their
he kills little kids.
I know that, and he kills all the kids as well from the Jedi Temple. Like, I mean, holy shit. I mean, they didn't show it, but he did it. Right. So like,
but you don't hear everyone going, oh my gosh, I can't believe he killed these little kids, and it's terrible, and it's not Star Wars. It's like, well, he's evil. Evil's evil.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
But the thing too is that if you watch season 1, you know, you're like, well, this is not made for kids.
No, I agree.
Oh, no.
I agree.
Yeah,
I like that.
You put a kid in front of that show, they're going to be bored as hell.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So again,
it's a more mature audience.
It's a more mature. Yes, they implemented that scene, and they want to show you how bad the Empire is, but it's like this show is not meant for kids.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? So
agreed.
All right. Average score, Sean.
I'll give it an 8. 8. I like it because even there wasn't enough like negative stuff for me to go, oh, you know, this.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Like,
agreed. Yeah.
Like I always look at the negative stuff and try to kind of just understand why they did it. Like I said, out of all the negative stuff, the rock, paper, scissors was stupid.
Sure.
Out of all 3 episodes, that's me really nitpicking one thing's not that bad. So I definitely I give it an 8. You know, I enjoy it.
All right. How about you, Anthony?
I've got a little bit of a different take, and I'm going to go ahead and say this before I even get started. I don't necessarily I'm not like a prude to where I don't want like sexual stuff in movies and stuff like that. Like, I think like it has a place in a lot of different movies. I just don't think it has a place in Star Wars. And the reason I say that is because, like, even last season when they had the scene where Bix and her guy friend, like, were getting in bed together, it just didn't feel like it fit. It was like they were trying to do normal movie tropes and put it into a Star Wars movie. And for me, it just kind of felt like it kind of just didn't really belong in there. I think they could do plenty of stuff to make the Empire look far more evil, to make all of the people look like absolute monsters.
They could do other things, sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's like, well, we got to go there just because of that. I agree big time. Like, the pacing of it, like spending way too much time in one thing, does seem to be something that they do, and it kind of like the whole, like, I kind of zoned out during the wedding because I was getting bored. You know, I do think they could be a little bit more snappy with it, kind of get your point across and then get out.
Yeah.
All the stuff with Andor, minus him being captured there, maybe something will come back to it and it'll be like, all right, well, that made sense why he was captured there. But it does actually seem like the only reason that they spent time there is so that we would be like, oh, that's Yavin. That's where the base is going to be. Right. So that's cool. You know, yeah, they probably had to have him be, you know, quote unquote, tied up for a little bit so that all the stuff could happen where Bix's stuff was. I would say for the most part, everything on that planet that was going on, I was totally down for. Like, it all was good. I liked it. I did think that the whole SA thing was just a little out of place in general for Star Wars. I think they could make everybody far more evil. And it's not that I don't want to see it in a movie, that it makes me feel uncomfortable. I've seen it in plenty of movies, and it's just like, you know, it has a place in that movie for a certain reason. I think they could have had all the conflict without it. I think the Empire just straight up slaughtering people is going to be plenty enough to show how evil they are.
Yeah, the Gorman stuff's going to be it's definitely going to get to that point.
Right.
I think the question would be, yeah, I get what you're saying. I just think it's tough. I think, you know, it's again, it's the same way I feel about all the other stuff that, and I'm not saying, Anthony, that you've said anything else about any of the other stuff, but I've heard plenty of other people talking about how, like, oh, we shouldn't have this and this and this in Star Wars. And I'm like, well, it's part of our world. I don't, you know, I don't know. I don't know. You know,
just because something is part of like the real world doesn't necessarily mean that they should put it into.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Certain movies.
I hear what you're saying.
You know, genre movies and stuff like that. Like, you know, they have like a basic formula of like what Star Wars is, the tropes, the storylines, the things to go with. I think there's plenty of stuff there to make fantastic stuff. I don't think every single thing needs to basically mirror our world that we're in. I mean, you know, you know, that's what I'm getting at. Like,
I would argue that maybe not, maybe because it's, you know, there wasn't anything like it at the time, but like, I think people would have said the same thing about seeing Luke's aunt and uncle burning skeletons when he comes back to the freaking thing. Like, I think things like that were in Star Wars that.
Well, there's a lot of shocking things in Star Wars.
Oh, there's a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but like, for the most part, minus like a couple of kisses between Han and Leia.
Well, what about Luke and Leia?
That's
right.
You know, there really wasn't anything in the original trilogy that was like overly sexualized. It really had. They had far more.
There were connotations to it, right?
There was hints of it.
Yeah.
You know, in the original trilogy, there really wasn't any absolute need for it. They had a lot bigger problems to worry about rather than, like, you know, having a crush on somebody else. You get to the prequels, it totally made sense because this is a love story. And so, you know, they were living a secret life. That made sense to me. It didn't bother me. It didn't feel out of place.
Sure.
That's all I'm getting at. You know.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
actually, just really quick, we'll deep dive into everything in Andor a little bit later. Just because I know we we have a lot more things to talk about. I kind of want to I just want to say like real quick, and we'll talk more about it later. I think I understand where everyone's coming from, but what I guess like for Andor compared to the other shows, I think the first season has set the tone for what the show is actually trying to capture. It's a more mature type of thing, which is totally different from all the Star Wars shows and movies that we're used to, right?
And I don't have a problem with it being for a mature audience.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of one of them things. Like even in Rogue One.
Well, and I agree, Anthony, that I agree that it's out of that. It feels not that it's actually out of place, but that it's it's a little bit shocking when you see it, right? Like when you see it in something like that in Star Wars, you're not expecting something like that, and you're like, oh, like just like
I just don't even think it was necessary.
When you talked about them in bed, in the first season, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, that I haven't seen that before in Star Wars. Yeah. It didn't bother me though. So I mean, I guess it might bother some people, might not bother others.
But I even think like the one where they were in where she's getting into bed with the guy. Yeah. It was almost unnecessary. It didn't further anything to the story.
Yeah.
Other than to let you know that there was something
I would say
going on between them.
I would say this one though, I don't know if it's going to pay off at some point that what happened, but I think it goes to Bex's like already horrible experience with the Empire.
Yeah.
She's already been like tortured. She had this happen. I think it's just it's going to be part of her character that she's just like terrified, like absolutely like, traumatized by these things.
Traumatized and
see, I had heard
we'll see
like a week or two that like there was something in it.
Sure.
But like nobody kind of knew exactly what it was.
Right.
And even then I thought to myself, well, there could be like PTSD things that she's reliving where she got tortured, who knows to what extent, and they could like, even like I heard somebody, I don't remember who it was. They said, just the torture aspect of Han.
Yeah.
They didn't show it, but you had like an image in your head of like how terrifying it was.
Sure.
One can assume that Leia was tortured, to some extent by Vader. So like none of that really like it was almost like you could just kind of like assume that they were pulling fingernails off of working here and there to get the answers that they wanted. And I don't like I said, I'm not a prude about that. Like I'm all about like some of that stuff in movies.
Yeah.
But to me, it just kind of like when I thought to myself when I saw them talking about it a week or two ago, I was like, well, because they were bringing up the whole thing with Leia, bringing up the whole thing with Han, bringing up the thing with Anakin's mom. And I was like, well, I mean, this could be done in a way to where it like is almost very similar to that. But I don't know.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it a little bit later. But on to some other news. Celebration just happened last week. And just really quick, this was announced at the end of Japan Celebration. Unfortunately, I didn't go.
Be cheaper to go to Japan.
It'll be cheaper now.
Just lodging alone, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Well, now it's in LA. So with that being said, Matt, I know you're around or close to the area.
San Diego.
Or somewhat, right?
Ish, yeah.
Ish. But you're planning to go next year?
Yeah. In what, a couple years or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is a couple years.
27.
What the fuck,
they always skip a year. Yeah, I think I would imagine I would go. I think I would go. It's not my backyard, but it's around it, right? Like I'm a little bit. I was talking to Jason about this too. I was a little bit surprised they aren't going to do Anaheim again, because LA's. I listen. People have backwards ideas of what California is. California's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I will admit LA's a piece of shit. LA's like an absolute cesspool. And I just can't.
I think you're being a little kind.
It's horrible. And it's not even just, it's nothing like oh, you're gonna be, it's dangerous or what. No, it's just so much traffic. There's so many people. Like, it's so annoying to get to LA. And
Is this
it's
the
like,
first time they've done it in LA?
I don't think so. It can't be.
Do you think they're
I don't know,
doing it
maybe.
because of that museum, the Lucas
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Museum?
what Jason said. Jason was
Yeah.
like, well, they're probably doing it because of the George Lucas Museum. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually really smart. Because people are going to flock to that thing.
Yep.
And it makes sense. So it does
Yeah.
it does make sense that the George Lucas Museum is opening around the same-ish time, I guess, ish or whatever. And because I was thinking, like, why aren't they going to do it in Orlando? They haven't done it in Orlando in a while. So, like, why not go back to Orlando? But yeah,
Or at
I
least
mean,
do it like next year, because wasn't Japan and like England like back to back?
No, they always
no,
do it a couple years
they
apart.
skipped a
Yeah.
year. They skip a year usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It just, I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
I miss going to Celebration, like, and
know.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's just been a while, man. Anaheim, I had such a great time. I
Yeah,
wish they
it's
did
fun.
it there. It's nice though. The weather's nice. There's Disneyland there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things
Yeah.
there. I actually met Far from Death Star there. He actually bought me a drink, which I owe you a drink, Far. LA, and my wife,
See-
she has a lot of family there. She's like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, I know. You know what you should do though, PJ? If anybody's gonna do like this Los Angeles thing, stay in Anaheim, because why not? Like, it's probably not gonna be nearly as crowded because it's in LA. So you might actually be able to get a hotel in Anaheim, and you got Star Wars, you got, freaking Disney there.
Disneyland.
And it's not that far away. It's not that far away to go to the LA Convention Center or wherever it is, like. It's not that
Is that
big
where
of a
it's going to
deal.
be? At the LA?
Probably.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Is
Yeah,
that
I'll probably
Which
say
is
that.
huge. Which is huge, right? Like, it makes sense, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. The celebration is not that big. Like, compared to like San Diego Comic-Con, celebration
is not that big.
crazy.
It's not,
So-
because because if you think of San Diego Comic-Con, it's a mixture of everything,
Right.
right?
Right.
Including Star Wars, I think.
It's got
But
all stuff.
with Celebration, it's just strictly Star Wars. So how many Star Wars vendors are going to be there, especially to pack a convention center?
Right.
It's not that much.
Yeah, and Far
Yeah.
from Death Star is even saying you can take a train from Anaheim to LA, which is true. It wouldn't be that hard to get there, and I think you're staying in a much better place. It's just a much more like calm, better place in Anaheim, in my opinion.
Okay, so Matt's a maybe, right?
Probably.
Probably. Matt's a probably. How about Sean and Anthony?
Nah.
Yeah, I just think LA is going to be, just the lodging alone is going to be thousands of dollars just to stay there for a week.
Be a lot of people.
Yeah, plane tickets probably going to be $1,000.
Yeah,
lodging $3,000.
Yeah, it'd be expensive,
not including the food. And if I go, I got to go VIP. Because
oh gosh, yeah,
dude, it's crazy. Like,
I know
Anthony and I have never been to a celebration, but I've seen enough videos and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, MegaCon's like overstimulating like crazy. There's no way I can go to something that's 3 times as big as that and wait in the standard line. Like, when you pile that up, it's a $10,000 trip, and that's not even taking the family.
The thing is, the Jedi VIP passes, right? They're just so hard to get, and they're like $700. That's
I think Jason also mentioned this to me when we were talking about this, the Jedi stuff that people pay for. Last time, I think it was in Anaheim. Those guys, there's a lot of people that just went and sat in those seats, and they didn't say anything. Like they didn't do anything about the VIP stuff. Like you definitely get benefit doing it, but I think it's also kind of.
I was one of them,
right?
No, because I'm.
They would also, PJ, wouldn't they tell you not to move after you sat down? So they were like, just stay there.
So I know there was a section for the VIP guys, right?
Yeah.
But the thing too is, like, I sat pretty close to one of the panels. It was one of those things like where, I've always been taught, like, if you're gonna do it, just pretend, just don't, just do it like as if you fit in, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's walking in, and I just went underneath the rope.
Yeah, right.
Walked in,
yeah,
and like just just walked in without stopping.
Like
and
you
no one's-
own the place. That's
Yeah,
how you,
like you
that's
own
how
the
you
place.
do it though, man. You just
Yeah.
roll up.
I just rolled up, like I owned the place, and then like no one
No.
stopped me. They were like,
And then they're like, fine, just sit down.
no, I just
Whatever.
went straight to my seat, and then it was like a couple of rows behind the Jedi VIP. I wasn't trying to get caught too. I was like, all right, like I'm close enough, you know. So it was cool, but I'm planning to go, and I'm gonna take your idea, Matt, of just staying in Anaheim, which I think it's gonna be a lot cheaper. Plus Disney's right there.
Yeah.
Downtown Disney.
Make a thing out of it. Like, don't go to the convention every single day.
How far is San
No.
Diego from LA? I can't remember. It's
San
been
Diego's
years.
like
It's like
it'll
2 hours.
be a couple hours drive,
Oh, really?
but it's
I
not.
was thinking it was closer than that.
No,
Yeah.
but it's also a beautiful drive. Like, it's not bad. It's just not
Yeah.
bad. Once you get closer to LA,
Mhm.
everything is horrible. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
once
It's
you're
about 30 years since I was in LA.
yeah. San Diego's freaking perfect, I think. So like,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful place to live, but it's like once you drive up, for like an hour and a half getting up to Anaheim, it's beautiful. It's like you're driving on the coast, you're seeing all this cool like Camp Pendleton, all this really cool stuff, and then and then once you get past that, that's when you start getting into like Long Beach and all that shitty, like, you know, it's just horrible.
Bars on the doors and windows.
It's just horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
and all I'll say is like LA's a safe place. Just don't be stupid. Don't go to like Compton or freaking, you know, Inglewood or some shit. Like, don't be
Yeah.
stupid. Just
Yeah.
that
stay,
happened to
you
me
know.
one time.
I know. I've been there, and I just, if you're gonna go there, go to Starbucks. Just don't go somewhere you shouldn't go.
Matt, you went to get the Mythos, right?
Yeah, I went to get a statue from somebody in like, I think it was Inglewood, and it was interesting.
Yeah,
Englewood always up to no good. That
Yeah, I know.
Englewood.
It was fine, but yeah.
was
No,
out there
I would
one
just
time.
say just stay in the right place. I mean, you know, I'm guessing, I don't know where the convention center is. I can't remember where it is. I don't know if it's in Hollywood or if it's near anywhere. You're fine anywhere around that place. Like it's really nice. It's just getting there is annoying, right? Getting there is always the annoying part. There's a lot to do once you get there. Like if you're in around Hollywood, there's a lot to see. You can see all the stars, all the, you know, sidewalk stuff. There's a bunch of stuff to see.
Yeah.
It's just getting there.
I've seen all that. Like,
Yeah.
I went like, I think it was like 93 or no, 94 maybe.
Sure.
Went for a bike contest and we stayed at a friend of mine that I grew up with. He was in the Marines, so we were at Irvine.
Yeah.
And,
Irvine, Irvine's nice.
We were out sightseeing, and my buddy that I went out there with, he drove my friend's wife's car. We were going up to Hollywood, and we're looking for Hollywood Boulevard or something, and he gets off at like Hollywood Street, like off the highway or something. And I'm looking around. I was like, man, this looks sketchy. Next thing you know, like it looks like the neighborhood and Boys in the Hood and Friday, and I'm like, dude, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you don't
Like,
want
there's bars on all the doors and stuff. Like this is the alley that dude got shot in.
Yeah,
you know,
and then if you're wearing the wrong color in some areas, you gotta get the hell out of that place, man.
we finally made it up to Hollywood Boulevard, Rodeo Drive, and all that stuff. And we ate at a McDonald's. I think there was a McDonald's right across the street from Man's Chinese Theater. We come out, there's these two homeless girls sitting on top of a newspaper stand, and they wanted us to give them our drinks, and they would let us take a picture with them. And we were like, what the fuck? Like,
That's amazing. Yeah, the only thing about LA is it's just douchey. Like it's a bunch of it's just douchey and gross, and like, you know, a lot of wealth and a lot of like just shitty people. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. But you know, whatever, it is what it is. Like, you know, there's a lot of beautiful places around there that you can stay.
Deep Throat, LA.
Deep downtown.
Oh, downtown.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Downtown.
What? Okay, Anthony, we know what you're thinking about. All right, so I know Matt, you have to leave in like 10 minutes, but just definitely, by the way, courtesy of CC. Went to Celebration. Not jealous at all.
Yeah.
But she did snap some really cool pictures of Blitzway, and this is I kind of want to pick your brain with this one.
I mean, geez, we didn't think they were going to go like this, right?
No, dude, I knew they were good because you made Anakin and Obi.
I know.
So what? You got the Japanese license, right? Who cares?
You know,
I've got a bit
of a take on this, PJ. I was, I've been kind of noodling this and talking with Jason and just kind of like all this stuff's been just really cool to see all this stuff. And Luke looks great. Yeah. This poses for me a problem because when they first came out with the Anakin and Obi-Wan, we didn't know if they were going to make more. And it was like, these are amazing, right? Especially the Black Label Anakin version. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Had they come out with all of these, right, from the beginning, I wouldn't have gotten Anakin. And the reason I wouldn't have gotten Anakin is because I'm not an Anakin fan. Like, he's not my favorite character in Star Wars. I just think he's really, really well done. And I do like the character.
Yeah.
But I also was thinking they might not make this anymore. Like, or they might not make more of these. We don't know that. We don't know what their plan is.
Yeah, it looks like
now
they're
that
going deep.
now that I'm seeing original trilogy stuff, I'm like, well, where the hell? What am I going to put next to Anakin? Where am I going to put Anakin? Like, Anakin's going to be sitting by himself because
Anakin's in the bathroom.
I'm not going to get any more prequel figures from them. I'm just not going to. I would get old Ben because I think he looks amazing. I would get. This is another hot take. I wouldn't get Luke, and the reason I wouldn't get Luke, even though I'm a Jedi light person, is I would hope that they would make another version of Luke because this isn't my favorite version of Luke.
What's your favorite?
I would want the rebel pilot, the Hoth, Hoth Luke, or just the rebel pilot suit. But yeah, like I love the Hoth version of Luke especially. But the XM made a fantastic version of that. I don't know what they're gonna do. Right? Are they gonna go?
They're gonna go. They're gonna go.
Are they gonna do multiples of the same, character? Because like, I would love to get a Han Solo, but like, which one do they make? Like, I would imagine they'd make the normal version of him, but they could make the Bespin version, and that would be great too. It's tough. Like these look so good.
Yeah, and as Thor would say, you just gotta be patient. Yeah, and I think them flexing, they were flexing.
Yeah,
right. They were flexing hard.
Well, they're making a Vader too.
They're making a Vader.
Yeah.
Which Vader? We don't know.
Right? Yeah, I'm not gonna get a Vader because I'm not
Well, I mean, how many iterations of Vader are you?
Yeah.
You already have one. You got one.
The Iron Studios Vader is fantastic.
Yeah, yes, unless they make an unmasked version, right?
Which is possible.
Which is possible.
I would say that would probably be the highly likely.
It wouldn't. It's possible. I mean, look, I think it's interesting this line because they're really straddling the fence between like a hot toy and a statue. And so what's going to be interesting to see is when you get this thing in hand, which side of it do you feel like it's on? Because if it feels more like a hot toy to me than a statue, I'm not going to get any of them anymore.
Yeah.
I can guarantee it. If it feels more like a statue than a hot toy, I'm down. But I just want to make sure that it has the quality, in my opinion. Because look, hot toys they're quality. They're absolutely quality. They're amazing, but they are more, I hate to say it, they're more doll-like in how you pose them than a statue is, right? And so I prefer the statuesque version of these things than I do the hot toys. So I don't want a huge mix of these. I want to make sure they feel more like a statue than a hot toy. And I would hope they would. I mean, old Ben, how many ways you're going to pose this guy? There's no other way to pose him. Like, what are you going to do?
A pretty good one.
That's a great pose.
Yeah.
He looks so
fantastic.
good. He looks so good. I mean,
the only other one would maybe be if there was an accompanying Vader where you could have them essentially squared off.
Sure.
That,
I would say
the one right before he dies. The pose.
I'd say with old Ben, the only thing is that the base looks.
Yep. I was getting ready to say that. Hopefully that's just a temporary base. And then
the base is huge.
The base is huge and it's just not in New Hope. Like where was that from?
Yeah, that's true. So you'd rather them do bases based off of movies.
I mean, if you're going to do an OT, like have the why scrimp there and just become Hot Toys and use the same base over and over.
Right, sure.
Because that looks very similar to like the Anakin base.
Right.
Yeah.
So see, even Obi-Wan's on the same.
They're all on the same base.
That might be That might be the way. There might be going with a very generalized Star Wars.
It's like maybe like a museum type. They're obviously when you're looking at these, they're not like dynamic poses and stuff like that. They're more like museum poses. And I think that's what's they're trying to capture.
I honestly would love to see a company, and I wish they would have done this, come out with just a black museum base.
Yeah.
Just a black base that makes you look at the statue. You don't got to look at the damn base. No one gives a shit about the base. Look at the piece.
The base isn't what's going to make it or break it.
Right. Yeah. And if they simplified that and made it very simple, even just like what Regal Robot do with their like little black, like something like that, like keep it very simple.
Because you could keep the LED with the black base, and that'd be like just a little classy touch to it.
Yeah, or like EFX does, where they put the what's it called? Not plastic. Acrylic. They put the acrylic piece on top of the black with the like screw holes or whatever in it, and it just looks really nice. It looks really classy.
You know who does that? Iron Studios with their vehicles.
Yes.
They have some Batman statues like that, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. Which I didn't realize they did it. Like with the N1 Starfighter, I was like, I hate that base, right? But then Joe from our group was like, hey, no, it comes with a plain base.
Yeah.
So you could display like a museum type of pose, right? Or whatever. I'm like, cool.
PJ, real quick, one thing I wanted to kind of bring up and just see what your thoughts were on this so I saw a video of someone actually videoing the Obi-Wan, the old Ben one, and on the not the base, the whatever stand thing he was on, it says standard version. So my question is, do you say that it's the standard version because there's another version? Or are you just saying that it's a standard version to let people know that it's the same basically thing as the Obi-Wan version? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you say standard version on the old Ben statue one if there's not another version? Do you think it's possible?
What do they call the young Obi-Wan?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I just know
standard. So all the other ones are standard versions.
Do you think there's any possibility that they're calling it out just to call it out, or do you think there could be another version?
No, I think they're just calling out to call it out because obviously because they have the black label,
right?
So I think they're, I don't know if they're gonna make a black label for every single.
Will we see another one in the Star Wars line?
Well, we'll see. I think the black label Anakin sold pretty. Successfully,
dude. So the crazy part is like double the price. Like you can get like two of these figures for the price of that one.
I would think that the facial hair would be very difficult to
I agree.
Rooted. So
and short hair doesn't really do much with the rooted hair.
I would say you're more likely to see, I don't know, let's say like maybe Leia, be a black label one, or a Padme if they do it or something like that, where you have some hair to work with.
But
Hey, honestly, I wish they would have, Anthony, just you mentioned that. I wish they would have come out. I mentioned this to Jason too. I wish they would have come out with something to partner up with Anakin. That's the only thing that bothers me. And I know this Obi-Wan does, and you're supposed to buy him, I guess. I get it. But like,
not a black label one.
Yeah, like it would have been really cool to see Qui-Gon in a black label.
Yeah, nice.
Like that would have been really
the facial hair though. Might be a problem.
That's true.
And I do think that the facial hair is probably going to be the issue.
But to your point, Padme, like had they come
Padme
out
would be
with a Padme and shown us what like a female version of this would look like in a black label, I mean, that would be amazing.
I got a question, because I don't remember exactly the standard version versus the black label. Is there any difference with the material of the like the face? Is it silicone on one? And
I don't know if it's
it's all sculpted.
It's all sculpted, yeah.
Okay, all right.
And I think that's what they would do. They would put hair on the head and just keep the beard sculpted. Is what I would think they would do.
Yeah, I wonder if that would look weird though.
I don't know if it might.
Yeah,
it might.
But
like what would they do? What are they gonna do with Chewie? Right? Like,
I think Chewie would be like amazing. It'd be expensive.
It would
be so expensive.
But yeah, they're also not having to tailor anything much with Chewie. So maybe you save a little bit there, but you add more on the hair side of it. I don't know, man.
Dude, what is the Anakin? Was it like 2,500 or something?
No, Anakin's
No, it's
1,500.
1,500.
Yeah.
I would imagine that a Chewie would 3.
I mean,
maybe 4.
yeah, I don't
Nah, I
know. I
wouldn't
mean,
say
That's a
4.
lot
I
of
mean,
work putting that hair in.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well,
That's
if
a very
Hot
nice
Toys,
color, too.
here, let's put it this way: if Hot Toys could do it for like $300, I'm sure they could. You know,
Not anymore. but
you're
yes.
yeah. But just real quick, I know.
Yeah.
You know, Matt, you have to hop off, but basically, it's great, man. Like we're pretty
is
much
great.
getting. Dude, we've been talking about this since we first started YouTube, right? It's
Yeah,
like
it's great.
it's like, oh, I hope a company would tackle these because Sideshow are not making the characters that we want,
Correct.
and with the same type of skill set to create, get the likeness right.
Right.
But we're getting it, and we're getting it in so many forms now, and
It's
what a
crazy.
great time. We got Luke, we got old man Ben. Like I said, I feel like they're gonna tackle the OT just by the look of it.
Dude, I was
Leia.
I was creaming my pants when I saw this stuff. Like I'm really
too, man.
excited. I don't know what I'll get out of this line. Like I'm still kind of unsure of what I'm gonna do, but this is, like you said, Peter, this is exactly what we wanted a long time ago. Like we said, man, if someone just did this right and just took the time to make it good, then we wouldn't have to be like, pissed at Sideshow for making these shitty statues every now and then, or like even mad that like, look how good this Hot Toy is, but I don't want a Hot Toy. Like I want this in a statue, form. Like
exactly, and
that's
that's the only reason why I collected Hot Toys was for the likeness. And now, like, you got this company tackling this. Like, yeah, definitely forget Hot Toys.
I know.
Listen,
it's fantastic.
and just real quick before you hop off.
Yeah.
Look what happened with the stupid was that the range the snow that what's that called?
Yeah,
that stupid trooper?
The range trooper with the bazooka.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the one before that was limited.
I know.
Bull fucking shit.
I know. They yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. Like I posted that to our group last night and I was like, this is some high level bullshit right here. Like I don't know what they're doing, but
hey, I just hope they don't limit the Galen Urso. I hope
Yeah.
that shows up next week on Sideshow so I can get it.
Yeah. No, it's interesting how they're going about it, but yeah, look, the Blitzway stuff is fantastic news. I think to me, that was the biggest thing to come out of.
Yeah, me too.
For me, at least for Celebration, just knowing that they're going to continue this line, even if you don't get any necessarily of these pieces, knowing they're going to keep going, I hope, to more of these exciting things, and they might eventually land on something you really, really want, right? Which is really cool. So yeah, I don't know, PJ, are you going to get all these things? Are you going to
I will see. I'll try. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's so many things right now. Like I know with PCS, they just announced that Emperor
right.
silicone.
That's right.
It is getting expensive. We don't know what the tariffs is going to do because they start implementing tariffs in Sideshow now, right? They're telling you how much extra that you're going to pay.
Yeah.
So
and they've stopped even shipping some stuff at this point. So who knows? It'll figure itself out eventually, but
it'll figure itself out. Yeah, eventually. It's just that like I think with the PCS stuff, I'm just going to collect just the bad guys and nothing more than that.
Sure.
I think just to have like 1/3 scale like Vader.
Yeah.
Palps and Darth Maul and all that will be cool, but this is hard, man. This is like really considering like I'm like, man, I don't think I need to collect anything else.
I know, it's really amazing.
Are these third or quarter?
Quarter.
And
they're like the perfect size. Like I don't need Hot Toys.
I can't do 1/3 scale. I can't do it.
I'm so happy because I can actually say fuck you, Hot Toys, fuck off. Right?
Yeah, well,
I don't need you. Like
I know, PJ. Here's the tough part. You will not get the variety that Hot Toys puts out. It just won't happen in any form.
Do I need it though?
You don't. You don't need it, and it's been my argument for a very long time. Is that you don't need that necessarily. You might like it, and you might want a thing here or there, but like I've been telling, I can't tell you how many times I have to tell Jason to stop buying Hot Toys. It's freaking stupid because they literally sit in his closet. He doesn't put them out. Like, just stop doing it. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just a practice. Like in Hot Toys, I mean, Far From Desert even says
they look so good.
They look great. Of course,
they look
great. But they're following the footsteps of Hasbro of just milking us, man.
Yeah.
Like That
Yeah.
perfect example. Range Trooper. What the?
I know they're making they make everything.
Advertise is limited.
But now
limited.
but now that you have something like Blitzway where you're getting like real quality statues. And honestly, Sideshow better be freaking. They better step up to the plate. In my opinion, like they have to do better. Like no, I'm not saying they haven't done well in the recent years.
Oh no,
they got to do better.
Oh, they can't. They can't mess up. They can't. They have to send all their statues in good factories and not the shitty ones.
Yeah, I agree.
But Matt, I know you have to bounce.
Yeah, I got to bounce.
Thank you for hopping on the show. It was always fun, and then we'll get you back on the show again.
Yeah, no, anytime, guys.
Had
a blast.
Yeah, man. Good seeing you again.
Yeah.
Good seeing you guys. Thanks for having me on, and always appreciate the show. It's a great show.
Yeah, same with you. Everyone, please follow Matt on Rogue16. I'll put the link in the description below. Please check them out. Do great stuff. Can't wait for some of the new product spotlights that you always do.
Yeah,
over on your channel. So, all right, Matt. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Care, man.
Appreciate it.
All right,
All right, man. See ya.
But yeah, guys, like, Sean and Anthony, are you guys looking to pick any of these up?
Oh, that Obi-Wan.
Yep, the Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's for sure.
I'm very interested in that one.
Yeah.
In my mind, when I was thinking they were all third, and so I was like, they look amazing, but like, The Luke is interesting because I don't have a statue.
Yeah, but you know what I'm holding out for is sideshows. If they do the one where Luke's in fighter pilot climbing up, I'm
very interested in that.
They better not mess that up, right?
Like, so it's funny because this Obi-Wan pose is like the standard one, because even my Hot Toys pose like that, except for I have his like right hand up, like using the Force, but his hands on his belt. I'm like, it's Alec Guinness. Like that's
I don't know.
I'm a big Obi-Wan
pose that would really be perfectly suited for him.
Yeah,
I would say, and I think Sean and I were talking about this, is I kind of wish it was all sculpted.
Yeah, I'm all about sculpted fabric for sure.
Yeah.
It's more statuesque.
I think he had a good point that is this going to feel like a hot toy or is this going to feel like a statue? I kind of lean toward it's going to be like a big, like a quarter scale hot toy.
Statue. Yeah,
it's weird because I have the premium format Maul and he's got the fabric clothing, but the rest of them statue. I think when you see the face and the boots and stuff,
I think he's talking about when you pick it up. Is it gonna feel?
Oh, when you pick it up.
Yeah, I think that's what he was being.
Probably statue.
I feel like it's gonna be a statue, right?
Yeah,
I feel like the thing too is that
don't they? You can articulate the arms.
When they say articulate the arms, I think it's just very minimal.
Are they talking about these ones being articulated as well, or
no? I mean, they haven't said anything, but
like I don't need that. Like making a statue with a cool pose like this, I'm sold. Because half the time I don't move my Hot Toys, and they have legs and arms that move. I'm like, they just stay in one position.
We'll see. We don't know, right? It could be magnets involved. It could be just a whole bunch of things.
What I would say would be a better thing to do is just give a switch out arm.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Instead of having the arm articulate, you're running the risk of it either being like a hot toy, or you're running the risk, like if it's all siliconed, that somehow that's going to break down and mess up. So I would just say, if you want to, if you could put it in a pose to where you could do 2 or 3 different like poses with an arm or two, I'd say do that versus.
Yeah, it could be a licensing issue too, right? We don't know.
Possibly. Yeah.
It could be like, can advertise as a statue, could be like we don't know. To me, like
there could be some of that.
As long as it looks good, right? And like you said, doesn't feel like a figure where I'm like when you I've had the quarter scale Hot Toys figures, right? Like the Vader, and I've carried, I'm like, this feels like an oversized Hot Toy. It feels like a toy. As long as it doesn't feel like that for me, where it doesn't feel plasticky and all this stuff, like it feels like a real statue, then I'm okay with it.
What's the price point on
If I had to take a
Like
wild guess,
the young Obi-Wan, what was he?
600, 650.
Okay, all right.
So was the other Anakin, because I've got the other Anakin coming. I think he was like 600 or 650.
Yeah.
And then
Which is
when
not
are
bad.
they supposed to come?
Great.
When are they coming?
The end of the year.
End of the year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, that's right in line with what the premium formats have been.
Dude, 600 for that stat. Like
It's-
that's to me, that's a steal these days, because
Yeah.
most statues are from 800 to 1,000.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially
Getting
the
it-
new ones. Yeah.
And getting a badass Anakin like that for 6 is like done.
Yeah, it is. And this, yeah.
I didn't even hesitate when I saw it. It was like an instant purchase. When I found the price, I was like, done.
Done.
Specfishing.com, done.
Yeah, Christian. But the thing too is that, like, again, it's one of those now, like, hey, we got this company coming and giving us pretty much what we want. And like I said, like, for me, like, I have nothing against Hot Toys. Well, I do kind of. What I have against Hot Toys is the business practices that they've been doing. Same with Sideshow, right? Like, with the Range Trooper, all you did was switch
I don't
out.
even know what happened with the Range Trooper.
All right, let me pull that up real quick. And it just like, it's just kind of like
gets me off no more than the Mythos.
It kind
Pretty
of
much the same.
it's pretty much the same, man. So basically, here, let me. So they released a limited version, right, of the Range Trooper from Solo. Right?
Okay.
It was limited. So guess what? We see it in Andor, and here it comes. Not so limited anymore. It's the same freaking figure. It's just different. But that's what they
got
do.
A different base, probably.
Oh, different base, right?
Yeah.
All they do is gotta swap out the base, and you just a different accessory with the missile, and you still get the other accessories that it comes with. I don't know. It's just, to me, that's what they've been doing for so many times. You know, it's great that they're coming with artisan stuff and making it limited, which is cool. Especially with the dark side.
It's limited for now.
It's limited for now.
For now.
And the thing too is that, like, I just can't. That's why I stopped collecting some of the Hasbro figures, even Funko Pops. As soon as I saw like all these different versions of like a character, I was like, I'm out of here. You lose the collectability of it. In my opinion, it doesn't become a collectible; it just becomes like a toy.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. That's why with a company like this, like tackling all these characters, especially the OT, the characters that we want to see, and it looks like they're really doing more characters in the future. Darth Vader being one of them. Who knows? They might give us Han. They might give us Leia.
Yeah,
imagine a Leia.
We need a Han. No.
Yeah.
We don't even have a good Han hot toy.
Yeah. But can you imagine they give it to you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Give it to us?
Sold.
Like, sold.
Yeah, I think a Bespin Han would be.
Or even like the Han from the first.
I would rather have the new Hope Han in a statue.
Me too, because it will pair up well with the Alec Guinness Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, well, my only point was, I think they would not be able to make enough if they did a Bespin Han, because there is no Bespin Han.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, everybody would be foaming at the mouth to buy it, because everybody wants a Bespin Han.
But I think any Han, to be honest, there's no Han Solo statue, right? Other than Sideshow did some weak ass looking statues back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, besides with the Mythos stuff, right? If you really think about it, like, I'm looking at Anthony Shock T. Like, has anyone made another Shock T?
Not a license.
Right? It's just one of those where and for a fact you're like, oh, they're not gonna make one again. But with Hot Toys, it's just like you buy a figure, you're like, wait, do you think they're gonna make another one or reissue it? And
I would say, like, for instance, if Hot Toys does a Shock T, they really only can do one, because there's no opportunity for her to ever show up again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
with that one, I think you'd be safe.
Mhm.
But any other characters where they're still alive, especially stormtroopers. I mean, any type of trooper. I think I saw you had posted something today with Rex. It's a straight up reissue.
Yeah, this one's from the Ahsoka show.
Yeah. So you're gonna get that. I mean, it's no different than when they did the Death Troopers for Rogue One, and then when what was it, Mando season 1 or 2, whatever, they reissued him, and I bought both of them. The exact same thing.
The thing too is that people may not see eye to eye with me when I say this, is that you need an aftermarket. You need that in your ecosystem of collecting. If you see like, oh well, if you remove that, then it's hard to collect, right? Look at the sports cards, right? All these sports cards, memorabilia and stuff, or even sports memorabilia, they're doing so well because they have a good ecosystem, right?
Yep.
Where they could sell some of these things that they don't need anymore and make their money back or more, and then they could use that money to put back into the collecting realm.
Yeah, I agree.
But they're just killing it. They're like straight up killing it. Hot Toys is straight up killing it, and that's why.
Yeah, but I think some of these companies, it's going to work out for you for a while, but you're going to end up doing something. What crosses a line for me may not be the same for somebody else in the world, but like I always looked at it with the Hot Toys because they were pumping out so many, and they were relatively affordable up until recently they've kind of cracked the 300 plus mark. I didn't really care. Like, it didn't bother me because I had the Death Trooper. It did not bother me when they came out with the Death Trooper for the Mando show. It didn't bother me at all.
Because I needed 2 of them.
Yeah, but it didn't really bother me because I kind of looked at it like, well, I've got the Rogue One version. At that point in time, I had no desire to sell any, so it wasn't like I felt like, oh, this is going to diminish mine. Even in the aftermarket, the Rogue One was garnering more money than the Mando one. But the thing that has burnt really a sour spot for me is Sideshow with the Mythos.
And same with me, and burn a spot on me too. I'm like, I'm not collecting any of them at all. Right? I just can't shell out more money, especially twice more money.
They've lost my trust. In the back of my mind, I think there's a possibility that a couple of years down the road, they might essentially make this a little better. I don't know. They may make the chest and the belt light up on a Vader.
Yeah. Again, it's the same thing. But do you feel that they're going to do something better with your Shock T?
Not really, just because they haven't shown me that they want to do anything other.
No,
than
but
Vader.
Do you think they could? Do you think they could make a better Shock T than what you have, or is there going to be?
I think they could. Yeah.
You really think so?
Well, I think they have the technology and stuff to do it better. Will they? I don't know. I mean, I think if they actually tried to, I think they could.
But what would they make better for that Shock T statue?
I don't know. If they did a Mythos, I think they could make something.
No, I'm talking about like Shock T, just Shock T, not a Mythos Shock T or anything like that. Because that's you're taking out
asking, as far as the quality,
or improving it and stuff like that.
Honestly, if they did it, it'd be minimal. I mean, I think that one is damn near.
And would it be enough for you to buy another Shock T? You say, "Oh shoot, damn, that's a better Shock T."
Well, they get you with the pose too. They can change the pose, and then maybe with technology and 3D printing, like right now they've got 8K printers out. Like, you're going to get way more detail off of the newer printers. So you're going to get a sharper piece. Like, you could get like a sharper piece, a better painted piece, and a different pose. that could possibly sway me. And
Maybe.
and add a lighting effect. You know, you got to have lighting effects.
Well, I would
That's
say
almost
one
a
thing
given.
that they might be able to do is she was from the planet Felucia. So like
The base?
Maybe with the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the statue itself, right?
In general, I would probably say I don't know how much more they could really make it better.
Improve, right?
Yeah.
But my point in case is that it was done so well, right?
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful, even to this day, the most beautiful. I don't have a picture of the shot.
I would say off the top of my head, out of the sideshow statues they've done, it might, like Star Wars ones, it might be like
the best.
Top 3, maybe. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of another one that was done so damn well that
I'll tell you this:
really think of anything off the top of my head.
If I have this Shakti statue, I'm not buying another Shakti statue because it's that good, right? But see, the thing is, my point is that with Hot Toys, it's like you don't know, they're gonna improve on it again.
Yeah, if it's a popular enough figure, they're going to do a 2.0 for sure.
Right? And I just,
or if it shows up in another show or something like that, you can almost.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that that the odds of them doing a Krennic for Andor season 2.
Oh, high.
Is damn near 100%.
Yeah.
I think they would be stupid not to.
Mm-hmm. Right. I just don't want, again, like for me, again, this is my opinion. This is how I'm collecting. I'm not trying to dictate it for anybody that is collecting out there and how they should collect. Right. To me, it's just, I'm just so sick and tired of like these reissues. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of it. It's
like
just,
I said,
you could just see it that they're just milking the collectors.
Yeah. Whereas, like I always say, there's something. It's a breaking point for everybody. What's a breaking point for you is not for me. Vice versa. Blah blah blah. All that kind of stuff.
I agree.
The reissues with Hot Toys never really bothered me too much. However, what Sideshow did with the statues, chapped me big time. And
I always say it never bothers someone until it happens to them.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily like, you get what I'm saying. It's like but there's going to be a time where they do something and you're going to be like, I didn't mind all the other stuff, but I can't fucking believe they did this. Like,
well, what about when they did the Anakin and they came out with the Sith Eyes Anakin? That was a tough one.
Yeah, and that one I think was my first taste of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I looked at it like, because I mean it was within 3 or 4 months.
And that was like the beginning.
Yeah. And that was the first one where I said, I know why they did it in that order. Because had they released the Sith Eyes first, the chances are that there would have been people that if they had to choose one of them, they would have only wanted the Sith Eyes. So they released the light side version, knowing that all those people would more than likely buy the dark side version. And I think that was like, I'm trying to think, was there another one they did that way where they kind of released like one version? And I mean, they did it with Iron Man's left and right.
The Mandos.
Mando.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they did it 3 times because they did the OG Mando, then they did the Beskar, and then they said, oh, no, here's the Chrome Beskar.
Yeah, the Mando's what broke PJ. The Mando was it. Yeah. He was over it.
No, I mean, it didn't break me. Mind you, oh, yeah, it did break me. I mean, because, well, see, here's the thing. Not as much as other collectors, because, mind you, I got mine from Hong Kong, so I've had that figure for at least 3 months, right? It's just, I felt bad for the collectors that just got it from Sideshow, and they announced a Mando.
They still had the Beskar one in stock when they released the Chrome one. I never got the Chrome one. I just had the regular.
Yeah.
Beskar one.
But I just to me that's just again just like
Yep.
like you said, like for me, I want to support a company that always looks after their collectors.
I would
You know?
say anytime there's that scenario where there's going to be like, I don't know, like a suit upgrade or something like that, you almost have to look at it like if they're releasing the, I don't know, first version of it, and you know there's a second version, and that's the one you really want, do not get the first one. Like they are, like with the OG Mando and the Beskar, you know the Beskar's coming. Like you have to be like on the short.
Yeah, no,
bus
I mean,
if you think it's not coming. And if
No,
you
no.
had to choose, if the second one is the one you want, don't get the first one.
No, which is fine, but they're two different armors. I'm talking about like getting the Beskar and then the Chrome. With the
Yeah,
Force
that was yeah. Because I actually had the OG and the Beskar, and when they
Which
came
is
out with
fine.
the Chrome, I was like, I ain't getting that. They ain't getting it from me.
No, it's just again to me. I think again, you know. See, here you go. Hot Toys
did it
versus
with Luke.
Sideshow.
They did
Sideshow
it with Luke.
at least Sideshow at least change scale, improve with lights as well. Hot Toys add boots and a bazooka or just different eyes.
Yeah. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
but I don't want to support a company like that.
Well, we're not.
No, I'm just saying, like for me, that's why. Like,
Yeah, not
Yeah, I mean,
anymore.
it's not the
Not-
reason I'm not, but it's like,
no, that's the
um,
reason I'm not. Right?
until it comes to that 1-to-1 Vader.
Yeah. Well, the 1-to-1. See, I don't think is being made.
Yeah, it's about as bad as the Anakin Starfighter getting made.
You know
too.
why I don't think it's being made? Because Sideshow has the license.
Oh, for bust. Yeah.
Yeah. How could they make that? They're probably just showing off, right? They
Yeah.
could work with Sideshow and Sideshow, but I think Sideshow would most likely make that one for themselves.
To be honest, they probably took the 3D models for the figure and just blew them up life size and printed them and painted it and said, "Here's our 1-to-1 bust." Because you look at the helmet, the way the helmet's cut and everything, it looks exactly like the figure.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it's going to be made.
it was probably them just flexing for.
It's just them flexing for a thing. And again,
did you see the 1-to-1 TIE Fighter?
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
That's sick. The thing is
huge.
massive. Like it would barely fit in the room. It's so big.
It's 1-to-1.
Or I'm sorry, I meant I meant 6 scale. I had 1-to-1 and talking about the bus. Yeah, no 6 scale. Take that back. I had 1-to-1 because of that bus, but no, because it was a 6 scale. But still, 6 scale TIE Fighter is freaking monstrous. Like it wouldn't fit in this closet. It's
yeah.
Well, it would be twice the size of the Black Series one, right?
Oh, dude, it's just huge.
Far from Death Star says we live in an impatient world nowadays. We can't wait years for another version or the newer version.
That's fair. That's what they get you.
Yeah, that's what they definitely guess. But to be honest, like I've slowed down a lot in collecting in general. I just kind of like I feel like with statues at least it's spread out. Yeah. Right, they're not making many
dumping,
tons.
multiples a month.
Yeah,
you're looking at. I mean, if you're picky, you're looking at, worst case scenario, maybe like 3 or 4 a year.
Yeah, which is not bad.
No,
right?
Not at all.
Someone got a hot toy. Speaking of hot toys,
someone's had a hot toy. He's just unboxing them.
Oh, you got the R2, right?
Yeah, this is like my second or third one. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You've never unboxed that?
Dude, I don't have half my figures unboxed. Like lately, this past week, I've started.
Oh, that's one that you've had for a long time.
Yeah.
But you haven't unboxed it since you moved.
Yeah, like I haven't unboxed a lot of them since I moved, and lately it was funny because did we do pickups yet? So I did. So I got the Anovos Death Trooper helmet.
Yeah,
and that was the first thing I bought in a while. And to be honest, it's kind of energized me a little bit to get the room going. So I kind of put it in its place, and so yeah, it took one little thing, and I'm like, all right, And then Andor's on. I even said it a few weeks ago. It's like, even you just said, PJ, you haven't been collecting a lot. Either have I. That was the first thing I bought, and
actually
for a while.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean. Like, I haven't been collecting a while, but can I tell you, like, with Celebration happening, meaning like they announced some stuff that I'm like, right? Like with the I saw the Mando and Grogu scene, where Mando was coming through that whole that when she was fighting the at. Did you guys see that clip?
I didn't watch it. Pull it up.
I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to get shut down by Disney. They shut down every like clip from that.
Geez.
So yeah, it was a cool scene and it got me really excited. But again, I'm still kind of skeptical about that show or movie.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean,
Who
how
knows?
many times have we been excited for one of these series and we're like, oh, seriously?
Andor, I'm excited. I'm actually, even though this first season, I'm like, meh.
See, I love the first season, so I'm all in. I'm all in on this.
But I see the thing is, it took me by surprise, so that's why I'm like, whoa. But watching this second one, the second season, I'm like, I'm all in.
Dude, it's just going to get better. The closer and closer they get to Rogue One, it's going to get friggin' crazy. When they start building the Death Star, they introduce Galen. Like, you got Saul Guerrera coming, Tutu. Like, dude, it's
and how good was Krennic?
Dude, Krennic's the man.
Oh my goodness!
Believe it or not, I like Deirdre.
Oh, I love Deirdre.
Did you see when the mom came over and she says, "This is what you're gonna do"?
Did you see what she did? I was like, "Oh shit!" She shut her up.
Oh yeah, that was great. She's
by the way,
remember we'll call you twice a week. And
by the way, for all the all the Star Wars fans that have mother-in-laws, did that remind you of your mother-in-law? Because it did for me.
No.
So remember last week
when
we were talking about
that, man.
all the backstory with Galen and Krennic. So when Krennic was talking to all those other Imperial officers, they're talking about a sustainable energy source, and that's exactly what Galen was working on.
Yeah.
No, that's what he thought he was working.
Well,
on.
this is for the lens, right? That's what they were saying for the lens of the.
He was talking about a renewable, like energy source for the whole galaxy.
In the Catalyst book.
Yep. That's what Galen thought he was working on all along. Was using the the Kyber crystals as essentially like a renewable, endless energy source, and that's exactly what he's preaching to all of them. Now, I'm not sure if he actually knows like what they're really working on, or if he was compartmentalized to a certain point. And then they're talking about going to that planet and getting that mineral. Like, I think they were. I wouldn't be surprised if they were looking for that mineral to make it, because they weren't aware that the Kyber crystals could do it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the way everything is going right now, I think we have to do probably a dedicated Andor deep dive probably next week. I still have to get through like Celebration, so let's continue on with some of the products first, because I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like we've been talking. It's an hour and a half already into the show. We still have barely talked about some of the things that were announced in Celebration. But yeah, I don't know. You guys want to
fly through them?
I'm fine either way, whichever one you want to talk about.
I say let's complete the Celebration stuff, and then I think next week we could talk about the first 6 episodes.
Okay.
Right. What do you guys think?
I mean, we've all pretty much given our cliff notes on the first 3. So
yeah, there's so many, which is great. Like we went from like no like Star Wars nothing to like holy shoot overload. Right, because we still have to talk about well, let's talk about this Darkside Anakin real quick. What do you guys think?
I think it looks pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, it's Anakin.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm 100% fan of the
Ooh.
rooted hair though. Like it could look really good or it could look.
I like
you gotta
base.
get it right.
What was that base? Go back.
Yeah.
Kind of had like a what is that?
I don't know.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
It reminds me of like remember that MacGuffin in Rise of Skywalker, like that little sword thing. Remember?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
I don't know. I like it though. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Different.
Guess how much they're selling for in eBay?
Oh, probably like 900.
12.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
I'm like, for 1,200, you might as well get the Blitzway.
Dude, for 600, you get the Blitzway statue.
I know.
It's quarter scale and it's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. And only way I would get this is just to resell it. I'm sorry, I'm being honest, being absolutely honest. Judge me, but only way I would just get this is just to resell it. It's cool. It looks great. It's very limited, and I heard from a lot of people that were there in Celebration that Hot Toys did a poor job with the line, and not only that, Hot Toys did a poor job with the allocation. That they saw like people like the scalpers like having like 10 or 20 of them.
I was gonna ask, did they put a limit on what you could buy? I mean, granted you can keep sending your friends in or whatever, but
I'm not sure. But yeah,
Are you talking about like the people that go to Secret Base and buy it?
No, Hot Toys had a giant booth at Celebration where they were selling all these exclusives.
Yeah.
And scalpers were just going in buying 20 at a time. And I've seen pictures of them sitting outside, the convention center with just dollies with just Anakin figures just stacked. And you're just
how the hell was that possible, man?
Dude, I don't know, but I'm talking a ton of figures. It's like they bought them all out.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'd heard stories about like guys like some of those resellers going to Secret Base and there's like a lotto system to get them, and like they'll have a couple family members so they can get 5 or 6 of them or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's great, but for Star Wars Celebration, I wish they
didn't have a cap on it.
Yeah, didn't have a cap. That's not fair. I mean,
yeah.
I knew I wasn't gonna get one, but I feel bad for the people that lined up that didn't get one, and that line was long. So,
and are they not going to be sold at Sideshow?
We don't know. If they do, they have only 1,000, right?
They say that. How many times does they, bait and switch? Oh,
usually
these are exclusives, and then next thing you know, it's on Sideshow.
Yeah, usually the Comic-Con ones. Usually the Comic-Con ones, because that's what the Dark Side Anakin was. Usually they are at Sideshow. So
yeah.
I guess we'll find out shortly.
We'll find. Well, I know Sean's waiting for this one to be on Sideshow.
That one looks badass.
Yeah, I'm buying it as soon as it hits. I've already got the Andor pre-ordered.
Did you?
Yeah, I pre-ordered Andor.
Oh yeah, dude, I was so excited. I was so happy for you, man, when Andor came out.
Dude, because I've been waiting for I have all the Rogue One figures, which I said I'm not going to sell because you get very little Rogue One. You don't get like statues, and so you got to get it where you can. And I'm like, I think this looks great.
Dude, this picture
good.
looks like him.
Yeah, it looks
they did a good job.
They did a great job with this one. And like I said, I'm sorry, Anthony, Sean, I'll help you get this one. Right?
Yeah, I just don't want to, I know I'm going to pay a little more than normal. I'm actually just holding out and seeing what happens with Sideshow.
Wait, pay more than normal? Oh, you mean like from
scalper
Yeah,
prices.
No.
Yeah,
it's going to be on Sideshow. I'm going to help you like when they put it up on Sideshow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is great, man. This is amazing.
Yeah, because even the Andor I pre-order, it doesn't come out until April of next year, so it's like you have a whole year.
Yeah, that looks freaking phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
What do you think the odds of them doing Mon Mothma? I would say they're pretty damn high.
I think they're probably seeing the popularity of this show, which I think so far it's being well received. So if there is enough demand, I think they'll probably make a Mon Mothma.
I mean, right now, I would say she's
the woman.
Number 2, or probably the second, like, biggest star in it, like, or character.
Yeah.
Would y'all not agree?
I agree. I think she's like the star.
Yeah.
Everyone loves.
I would say it's almost equally about her as it is about Andor.
I agree.
So, I would say the likelihood is very high.
And she is such a great character too. Super awesome. Far From Death Star says, I've seen in the groups that didn't limit, sold out first day, I believe.
That's
what
crazy.
A shame. What a shame. Didn't expect that from Hot Toys.
I'm shocked that they didn't put a limit.
Yeah.
I think that's wrong.
Super shameful.
There's so many people that get, you're especially people
I just
that
can't believe they didn't even anticipate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they know that has to go on.
Yeah. Here is the Cherry Blossom Stormtrooper. Great.
Yeah, I'm good.
Freak?
Next.
So here's another one, technically a reissue, right? Which is
another reissue.
I mean, they improved on the ears, which I don't understand why whoever designed the first one was like, hey guys, the seams are pretty noticeable. I think we should redo this again. Nah, we'll make money. Put it out. We'll make an improved version later and people will buy it.
Yeah.
And here it is. It looks great. It looks absolutely amazing. But damn, it looks so much better than the freaking first one.
Well, yeah, that's where they get you. Hey, we've improved on it. Spend your money over here.
Yeah. Let's see if I can pull up the first one and show you how it looks like. So here's the first one. I mean, the second one. Now let's compare that to the second one. Yeah.
How are the seams around the ears? Are they that much better?
This one, you see it? It's here. You can see it.
Yeah. See it on that one. I'm talking about on that new one.
The new one. Oh yeah. It's a lot better. It's not there.
Do they have different ears?
No, it's just one piece. Right?
So they only have one set of ears? What's the point in having them come off?
No. There's no seams because you can't take them off.
Oh,
compared to the first one. Which they should have done this with the first one.
Yeah, there was no point in having switch out ears.
Right? So I mean, unless they came out with some ear pack that I don't know about that they want, but
they're gonna sell that later as an accessory.
I think that's
what they'll do.
Like that's something there's just not really a necessity for.
Yeah. Here's this one's cool. The concept mall.
Yeah.
Right? It's I think it's the same portrait as the most recent mall that they released, right?
I don't know.
Not sure.
It looks cool though.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna knock it. It actually does look cool. But
I find it interesting that they're diving into doing concepts. Like concept art ones?
Yeah. I mean, these are Celebration exclusive. Maybe they just only wanted to do it for Celebration.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't know.
Would you buy Macquarie like
Hot Toys?
Concept? Like if they did, I don't know, like if they did R2 and
like the Vader.
That would be a cool. That would be a cool set to have. But
the Luke Star Killer. Like
it'd be cool, but
I would want them as statues.
Yep. I would want them as statue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the Vader.
Yeah, I don't. This looks good in that lighting, but you put it with just a stark background behind it. How weird is it going to look?
Yeah.
with that glowing paint job. And
Yeah, I think you'd have to put a background and
you got to
do
light
some
it just
lighting
right.
in there to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm sure it looked badass when you do it, but
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
it would.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, so let's finish out the Hot Toys part. So we talk about the one-on-one bust, right? Here it is. I know people are complaining about the shoulders look small, right?
because it's
Right.
off the Anakin figure.
Yeah. I wish they had like a straight-on picture of it. It looks cool, just the head portion of it, but do I see it getting made? Most likely not.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think they're gonna make it.
Unless they made some pack with Sideshow, and it was like,
Yeah,
hey,
when have they ever tried a bust? Like, no.
I've never seen them make a bust. But I don't know. I say no, but then again, they made a life-size Grogu, right? There's a Sideshow version and a Hot Toys version, but maybe two different licensing where one is a statue and the other is a figure.
Yep,
Right?
could be,
right?
Yeah.
Here's the life size. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. The
Here's a
one,
live-
the 1-to-1,
One-to-one
TIE
TIE fighter and the is it the TIE Interceptor?
Yeah,
Yeah, that looks great, man.
dude, those are sweet. They're massive.
But flexing their muscles again and not gonna make them.
Yeah, you're not gonna see that. And if you did, you'd spend $2,000 on it.
Yeah. The same with the N1 Starfighter. I saw that on Sideshow's booth, and I think one of the workers was like, I was like, do you think they'll make this? They're like, hell no. It's like they're like, there's so many lights and like electronics that they would have to do for them to light this up. Like it's gonna be way too expensive. So to mass produce at least, right? Yeah, that looks great. I wish they did. I wish a company would do it. Here's the N1 Starfighter.
Yeah. From 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Looks awesome though.
Looks awesome.
Good.
I'm actually speechless right now because actually it does look really good, especially with the stand for
The
it.
fact that it's 6 scales, what's crazy. It's that the ship's massive.
Yeah, where would you have space for that? Here's some other old figures here.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Right? Nothing to see. I'm still waiting for my due back. One of my last Hot Toys purchase.
Yeah.
Is it not out yet?
Nope.
It's not out here, but wait, are they making? No, these are old figures.
No,
right?
they're just showing the old figures.
I was about to say, I was like, wait a minute, they made another Farm Boy Luke. Yeah, here's some stuff. Pretty cool. There's that General Grievous. That thing is massive.
They super glued the arms in place.
Yeah, I wonder how those arms are gonna hold up. So here's some other ones. There's Poe. There's there's Andor. And Sean, you pre-ordered this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I am so sorry, guys. I lied. Hot Toys has gotten me with one thing.
Oh, jeez.
Listen.
Order the Andor.
All right. Okay, guys. You heard it first. That is my last Hot Toys figure, period. What a way to stop my collecting by finishing my Hot Toys collecting with Jar Jar.
I don't believe
But
you.
but if they make a Darth Jar Jar, you're gonna buy that.
Maybe.
There's no maybe. We know you too well.
Look, there's why they put that Chewbacca there?
They're proud of it.
Oh my! There's this the Rebels Vader that looks cool, right? Did you see that one? The Clone Wars.
Oh yeah,
You know
that
the
one's
Clone
cool.
Wars, the Rebels one.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I think that's it for Hot Toys. Oh wait, yeah. I think we talked about the Andor. That portrait looks good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. The hair looks good.
Yeah, they did a good job with the eyes.
That looks good. The Poe looks good.
Poe looks good.
Yeah, you'll never see that one.
Well, here's the other Anakin that they're making.
You're making another one?
Yeah. With the poncho.
So it's the same one, but you get a poncho now.
Basically.
It's not the same one.
No.
The first one did not come with the poncho?
I don't think so. Right?
I honestly
I don't
dude,
know.
I can't remember. I didn't. I was out of them by that point, so I couldn't tell you.
There, let me look it up.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me because that's what they did with Return of the Jedi Luke.
No, I'm looking at it now.
With one, and then they came out with the one.
It does not
version.
I'm looking at it now. It does not come with a poncho.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yep, you get a poncho version. Told you, milk.
That's stupid.
Milk.
Oh
I said, they did it with Luke. Return of the Jedi, the first one that came out, and then they came out with the one that had the different hair, and you got the indoor poncho.
Yeah. Crazy, right? All right.
That's bad.
I told you.
See, stuff like that aggravates me.
No, but I don't. That's why I don't want to support them because they do stupid stuff like that. Why can't you just do a deluxe version?
They're just getting too greedy, man.
They are. I'm telling you, man. I don't want to support them. Well, I'll support them with Jar Jar, and that's it. That's it. Here's EFX.
The black chrome Vader helmet.
Yeah, that's cool. I just don't. I'm okay with not getting that. But that at ATST, that looks awesome.
Yeah, except for the pole going up his ass.
Yeah, but it came with here, let me pull this one up because I think that was the highlight of the whole booth. Is the EFX signature edition ATST. And I guess it was it's the William Bill George signature edition.
Yeah, I have his autograph with my ATST statue.
Oh,
so they're a little late on it. I already have that set up.
Yeah, I agree with you. I know that's how it's supposed to look like, right?
Yeah, I get it. Like they wanted to make it look like it's the actual prop because it was scanned from the archive. So
yeah,
I like the tilt of the head.
Yeah. And it's sold out, by the way. But
they tell you, I'm sorry, Anthony, they tell you on their website, like the head tilt may vary. So when you get it, your head could be straight or the other one could be turned or because I looked it up on their website. Yeah. And they mentioned the head tilt because I was like, oh, the head tilt's cool. And then.
Yeah.
Like you may get one that can tilt and you may not.
No, it might be tilted.
May not
a certain way, and then
it may not be tilted at the exact
angle. Or when final production comes out, they all might just be straight.
Oh,
because this is just a proto.
Gotcha.
I love ATSTs, right?
I like the way the leg, they're not symmetrical.
Yeah,
I do like that. Looks pretty good.
That's because they're not holding it up. That rod's holding it up.
Yeah,
true. That might just be for that. Like, I would think they would make it without it.
Oh no,
you don't think so?
No, that's the way it is in the archives. That's what they're selling it. That's an archive edition. Like,
okay,
you're getting the colonoscopy rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, but this is what I'm eyeing in replacement of that. Is this Return to the Iron Studios one, right?
Oh, little Dio.
What's that? 1/12th?
1/20th, I think. And from
I wouldn't go I wouldn't go any smaller than half scale.
Yeah. I mean, it looks cool.
Half scale. Just put it in the garage.
I know. I'm like half scale. I'm like, okay. It's pretty big. right?
How tall is she? 5'9"?
She's actually 4'11". No, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Wasn't there two different girls that were like, just for reference, I'm 5'9"?
yeah. This is 21 inches by 16 by 15. So
21. Yeah, okay. It's almost
yeah.
2 feet.
Yeah. So the thing with this is that, like, if it comes
21 inches, that'll
with,
fit the Vesta.
yeah, I was gonna say, if it comes where you could swap out the base like the previous vehicles, right? That'd be freaking awesome if it had like a clear or a regular base, and you could take out
How much is it?
Chewbacca. 800,
Do what?
850.
It's 850.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chewbacca's fixed in there?
Maybe not. I don't think he would be fixed. But this from Joe. He's the one of our Facebook members. He mentioned to me, because he told me about the what's that called, the N1 Starfighter, and the only reason why I didn't want to get it is because of that stupid base, right? But he said it came with a regular base where you could actually put it in like a museum type of pose.
Yeah, but that one seems like it's actually designed.
Yeah, it's a
to
Dia.
be a Dia.
Yeah.
Like with Chewie, with the Ewoks, the Stormtrooper,
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily mind that.
I don't mind. I don't
like it.
I like it, but I mean, it would be cool if it you're able to swap it out, because if you look at it, I know they advertise it as a Dia, which they did with the N1 Starfighter, right? But if you could just take just the AT-ST out and take out Chewbacca and put it in a base, it's like that's all you need. I hope they would do that. So
yeah, and that's not out yet. That's only on pre-order.
It's on pre-order right now. Okay. Yeah.
And when is the ETA on it?
End of the year.
It'll fit in the Vesta. That's interesting.
What's up?
It'll fit in the Vesta.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Let me pull up the next one. Let us see. Yeah, a lot came out in Celebration. Did you guys see that Maul is the new animated show?
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that.
And they're saying that this is Darth Talon. Well, the premise of the show is that Maul takes a Twilight apprentice.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Talon.
I mean, sorry. Yeah, Talon, Darth Talon. So,
dude, I think it's going to be good.
This is supposed to be between Revenge of the Sith and Rebels?
It's after the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Before Rebels.
Because I think they're going to like talk about Crimson Dawn and everything. They're going to kind of try to tie in Solo a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all animated, so.
Yeah. Which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
We haven't had a good animated series in a while.
I know some people were upset.
I'm more interested now that it has her in it.
Yeah, and I know there now. I'm gonna ask my Sithcast holocron, Anthony. Darth. Some people weren't a fan of Darth Talon being in this show, just because she's not supposed to be in the show or in this time frame.
Based on Legends,
yes.
No, she's not. Based on what Lucas had planned for 7, 8, 9, and 10, Maul was supposed to be alive, not killed off, and then his apprentice was Talon. So I guess they're going with that route versus Legends.
Yeah.
So that would.
But my question is that it's so confusing, right? When with George saying that Maul was supposed to be the main villain with Talon. When they killed off Maul in Rebels.
But that wasn't under him.
That wasn't?
Rebels was Disney.
Oh, that's right.
And the Rey and Lucas's thing, Rey's character was named Kira.
Gotcha.
And Kira is the name of Solo's girl.
Right.
Yeah.
So they kind of took different things and kind of intertwined them and blended them and swapped out names here and there. And honestly, like, they could have done some of that because they might have had to pay him some type of royalty if they went with his treatments or something, maybe.
Yeah.
I wasn't, when we were talking about this last week, I kind of was like, I've seen enough of Maul in that time period that I'm just not really that interested. I don't really know what they could do to make me interested.
Yeah, do you think they're, because I'm like
Dark
Maul,
I'm makes me interested.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's almost like passing the torch, and we could see where Darth Talon is.
That's what I'm saying. It makes me interested because
yeah,
we've already seen the best stuff of Maul.
Yeah, I would rather see a Vader animated story. What happened after Revenge of the Sith?
Yes.
And let's give us that. I would rather have that than this. But I'm not complaining because I like Maul.
Yeah. I said last week there's a lot of things I'd rather see than Maul. I would rather see a lot, like, I didn't even think about the Vader, but yeah, do like a year 1, 2, 3 of Vader after Revenge of the Sith would be interesting. The Talon actually makes it interesting to me because I do think there is the aspect of where now we can kind of see a passing of the torch. We could put her, she could survive it. This could kind of lead up to Rebels. Maybe they part ways at some point there. And now we could possibly have her in something in the future. So that would actually be interesting because I before that, I just kind of looked at it like we've already seen the best stuff of Maul.
Yeah.
We know his demise. We know when that is.
Yeah.
So like what else
can we do?
Such a small window. We've already seen him at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and we've already seen him approximately 5 to, I don't know, maybe 8 years later.
Yeah.
I think that's about when the Rebels, 8 to 10 maybe. So this actually gets me a little bit more interested than I was before.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to see Darth Talon. Like, I didn't think it should do with it. But which Darth Talon are we going to get?
Probably not what we want.
Where she's
probably
in her outfit?
I don't think they would do it.
I don't think they would do it too.
Such a tease.
Yeah. I know.
But I think it would fall into the same ballpark of the slave lay outfit, and I don't think they'll do it.
Nope, I wouldn't do it.
And also, where is Talon in this whole situation with, where is she? Where is she at? Where has she been hiding this whole time?
Right. I mean, that's always the question that you can ask. Like, where was this person and why were they not involved in this other stuff that's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the simplest thing would be she was nowhere near powerful enough to tangle with Vader or the Emperor, so she just laid low and went and did her own thing.
Or maybe she kept on training.
Yep. I mean that's really, I think, the easiest out.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do something crazy and kill her off, but I mean, I think that would be a lost opportunity.
Yeah, I'm hoping that she's around. There's so many things.
If I had to take a guess, I'm gonna tell you what I think. This would be right up their alley of what I think they would actually do.
Yeah.
Is they would save her for the Rey movie.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
that thing's on the back burner now that Starfighter's coming out.
Yeah, that thing.
I mean, if they're gonna do it, they would save her for that.
Man, I hope.
The only reason I say that is because it would be girl against girl, and that seems to be all they're interested in doing. So,
yeah. Well, I heard rumors again. I know they're rumors, but they said that Kathleen Kennedy
she ain't going anywhere. I don't believe it till it ever happens.
I know, but the rumor is
don't get Charlie Brown. Don't let
no. But let's just entertain it for a second here, right? Yeah. They said that she will be stepping down at the end of August.
Who said that?
Quite a few sources. If I could get that article again, but I think she just it looks like or sounds like
I'll believe it the day that.
Well, we know she can't do this forever.
I agree, but I'll believe it the day that Disney comes out and says it. Like that'll be the day that I
of course.
I've seen enough Mike Zero videos of
I know
she's been fired and Lucas took control and
that guy's still around, by the way.
I don't know, but I mean I just remember seeing video after video after video of him, and it's just like I mean I think there's a lot of people that are trying to will it into existence. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but until they announce it, I don't believe it.
Yeah, I just think that someone needs to obviously come in and just figure out like a timeline for everything. Right, because right now I feel like they're just making up stuff as they go along. Like, where did this Starfighter? What?
Yeah, I had heard a year ago about Ryan Gosling being a Padawan in her movie, and I thought that didn't make a damn bit of sense.
And what's the director of Deadpool is doing it?
Yep.
What's his name? Sean Levy.
Yep.
What besides Deadpool? What other movies has he done?
I don't care. I don't care about any of these directors.
No, because I just want to know if you're looking at. All right, so I'm looking at it, right, because it already is.
Whether they're a good director or not is absolutely irrelevant to me.
Well, yeah, no. To me, it's. I get it, Anthony. Right. It doesn't matter, but we're looking into how their directing is going to impact the movie. So most of Sean Levy's movies are comedy.
Again, and I'll use this as an example. The Russo brothers did Parks and Rec, right?
Okay.
So Parks and Rec was, a sitcom. It was all humor, and they went and did Captain America 2, Winter Soldier, right? Or did they do Civil War?
They did Civil War.
So I don't really care. Whether a director is good, what they've done, what they haven't done. It's absolutely irrelevant to me. It's whether or not they can make a movie or a series that is true to the world of which they're working in. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about.
You can throw that out the window. We've been talking about this for 5 years. It's like they ain't gonna change. This is it.
I get it. Right? Because usually they have a style. Every director has a style, right?
Right. And
So,
if their style is able to work its way into Star Wars, then I don't want to see them, because that's all the things that make make the newer stuff not feel right. It's all the little things, that makes it not feel like a Star Wars movie.
yes, but here's the thing: what's missing, right, is that you need a good producer to direct the director and guide them to what they need.
I agree. And
right.
you need
And when it comes
people
to
that are going to hold them within the world that they're working in.
yeah, right, because
I agree.
I'm gonna tell you, Rian Johnson is an amazing director.
I will not argue with you about that at all.
Yeah,
I think he is a fantastic director.
But the thing
Just
too
not a
is
good
that,
Star Wars movie maker.
well, here's the thing: he could be a great Star Wars movie maker, right? But
I think any of them could be.
But here's the but. We all know, and it's a fact, it's been stated in many interviews, he was given a blank script.
Yep.
And a blank script to say, hey, the first one's not done, but you could go ahead and write this movie.
Yep.
So what do you think he's going to do?
Whatever he wants.
Well, yes, but what do you think he's going to do?
Sean Levy?
No, well, I'm talking about Rian Johnson. He's
whatever he wanted to do.
Well, yeah, but he's going to write what he thinks in his world Star Wars should be.
Yep.
Right?
That's where the problem is.
Yeah. Again, it's not the directors. Directors do matter.
They do, only if, like, there are good directors and there are bad directors. And it only matters when they start making their interpretation of something.
Of course, because they don't have a good producer.
Yeah. I agree. Or
So
at the bare minimum, somebody that actually understands the world that they're working in.
Do you think the Russo brothers will do a great Marvel movie if they didn't have Kevin Feige?
Probably not. They had somebody
exactly.
That's been my point the whole time. Whether you want to call it the producer or whether you want to call it like having somebody that actually, like, they could take and they could put like a person like a Sam Witwer that is a damn encyclopedia for Star Wars.
You can't direct for shit.
I'm not saying have him as a director. He is attached to the hip of the director, and he tells them whether this makes sense or this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree.
These are the parameters. You shouldn't use these terminologies. Use these terminologies. That stuff.
I agree, but I watched Ahsoka and lost all hope in that mindset.
But do you think even during all this, I mean, you still have Dave Filoni, like he's the one that's where you think he would be steering the ship in the right direction,
but he didn't. Him has
diminished.
Now, one of a couple things is possible. He doesn't have the power that we thought he had, or he is falling into that kind of mindset, like, I am the heir apparent, and I know just as much as George Lucas, and I can do this in the way that I always wanted to do it because now I have the power to do it.
Which I totally agree. But the thing too is that he has never directed a movie before or produced a movie before. Right? All his stuff, all his things that he's done is mostly animated. Yeah, he did an episode in which was great, right? But again, for me, I think Jon Favreau is perfect because he thinks like us, right? He even said it in many interviews where, you know what? That's what I like about Star Wars. I like the practical effects. I love this. Oh my gosh, the feel. So to me,
I agree, but I still think they have to have somebody that is damn near like a a guide.
Oh, of course, you need like a Pablo Hidalgo, right?
Oh no,
Ish.
my
I know, but
opinion
I'm
of him, yeah, but I know
yeah.
what you mean. They need somebody that actually can tell you this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, you know. And maybe they have those people, and then there's somebody else that overrides them, you know, and
Yeah.
says, "Oh no, don't worry about that. That doesn't make it. That's not a big deal. That doesn't."
Yeah, I think it comes down to the producer and like also like what are they looking for, right? What check boxes that they need and things like that to finish this movie. But for me, I think it's with Sean Levy being in this movie. I think he was popular at the time because of Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think they need to get out of that mindset.
Of course, but they hired him. But then they're gonna put him in this movie, Starfighter. Okay, cool.
Did they even say when this takes place? A general premise of it?
Yeah, it's supposed to take place after the sequels.
Okay.
So now you're gonna hire this person, Starfighter. So okay, I look at his track record. Most of his movies are comedic, right? Okay, like now it's just like a lot of
I get what you're saying.
It's just like a lot of these movies that are being made are just like you said, people's own interpretation of Star Wars.
I get what you're saying, and that like all of his movies are comedic. I guess it's really going to come down to whether he has restraints or he has carte blanche to do whatever he wants. If they actually want to do a Star Wars movie that is a little bit more on the comedic side.
Yeah.
But I think they need to get out of this mindset of, oh, everybody loved this actor. This actor's on the come up.
I agree.
They need to get out of that mindset, and they need to just start focusing on staying true to the world that they're in. All their problems go away. Every single problem they have goes away if they get out of this mindset of this person is hot. They did it with the Game of Thrones guys. They fell flat. Rian Johnson.
They didn't even make a movie with the Game of Thrones.
That's what I just said. It fell flat. But the flavor of the month, director, actor, you know, whatever the case may be, they got to get out of that mindset, because just because you do something that's great and everybody loved it, it may not translate over into Star Wars. What's his name that did Ragnarok? Perfect example. It didn't work.
With Ragnarok or
Tahiti or what?
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Everybody loved Ragnarok, and his Star Wars, nah.
Yeah.
You know, and
which Star Wars?
What didn't he do? Boba Fett?
No, that was Dusk Till Dawn, right?
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. You know,
what did Taika only directed one episode?
Yeah, but he was supposed to do a series, right?
And he was supposed to do he was supposed to do a movie.
Okay.
But I think they probably dropped him because he got so much hate for Love and Thunder.
Right. That's my point.
That was tough.
Is they're going after these like new big names, trying to like run off of the hype of the last big thing that these people did. And I don't even think that's necessary. All their problems go away if they just stay true to the world that they're working in.
No, I know. I think it's just one of those where we just need. So I feel like, you know, with Kathleen Kennedy and the crew that she has, because remember when she came in and took over Lucasfilm, she fired pretty much 60% of the staff there.
Yeah.
Right.
She got her own people in there, and
yeah. So I think that we need that changing of the guard to happen.
I agree.
So that, like, you know, then Favreau comes in. I want Favreau to come in and have his people come in and say, you know what, we got to go back to the basics, because I feel like every time I watch or seen like he only directed one episode of Mando, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think,
And
yeah,
which is the Crate Dragon episode, which was freaking phenomenal, right? It was like a movie.
you know what? Whomever comes in and dethrones her, they need to go in there and they need to gut all these people that have any semblance of charge, that have were working hand in hand with her. They ought to go back and they ought to go hire a lot of the people that are still alive that worked on the original trilogy or the prequels.
Yeah. Well, did you see what Rigo Robot said, that with Mando's movie, they are also going back to the basics, where they hired what's his name? Oh my gosh! Of course I forget. Phil Tippett. Why would I forget his name? And they're gonna do like stop motion animation.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you need to go hire some of those people to get you back on track.
But but the thing too is the person to do it is Favreau.
Maybe
no, he is.
Well, I mean, I don't know that.
I know that.
Okay, well, if you
because
if
you know
see
why?
that, then
because
I'm just saying, but
who else would you pick?
I have no clue. But I'm just saying that what they're doing right now is the exact opposite of what's going to work.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, if you can't go get the only one that can fix it, you can't go get that person. So the next best thing would be to go find like Phil Tippett, the guy that did all the lightsaber fights. Any people that are still alive that can put you back into the world that they were instrumental in creating. That's what I'm saying. You can't go get the only thing that would fix it all. So go get a lot of the people. Think about it like this. They never even, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I agree.
They never even called the guy that did all the lightsaber fights. Never called him.
Yeah.
Nick Gillard.
Nick Gillard.
Yeah.
And
never even called him. And
Yeah.
and the fact that they never even called the guy just goes to show you that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, it's not. Maybe it's not even. They know what they're probably, because come on, it's Lucasfilms, right? I just think that they don't want to do what Lucas did.
Okay. I'm not arguing
because you're right.
But it ain't working.
I know.
That's
they don't
what
care.
I'm telling you.
How many of these Marvel movies and shows have not worked? How many do they care?
It damn sure doesn't look like they care.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing too is that for me, out of everyone I've seen, I thought, to be honest, far from Death Star, I agree with him. I thought he was the answer.
Who?
Dave Filoni.
Oh, I did too.
Everybody does.
Yeah. And then when I saw,
but I think he's shown that he isn't.
No.
And the only other thing is that it's possible that he is the answer, but he is constantly getting undermined.
I mean, I think that's a big part of it too. I think Disney has way more of a hand in all this stuff than everybody thinks.
Yeah. I mean, it is possible that he could make it the way we want it, but there are people forcing his hand, and he doesn't necessarily have the control or power that we thought he had.
Yeah, I agree. Far from Death Star, I feel like some of those influencers are just, being controlled. Even so.
Well, I can actually tell you that's absolutely true. They all got outed.
Yeah,
we were going into that last week, but we kind of stopped.
Yeah, We don't need any big name directors or big name actors. Good writing. I agree, man. Just go back to the base. Like I said, if Favreau is in the helm, and look what he's doing with the Mando and Grogu film, right? He's bringing
Yeah,
Phil
but
Tippett. He's got
do
like
you
some.
think the Mando Grogu movie is going to be good?
I have my
There you go.
I have my doubts, but the thing too is not because of I know Favreau can do it, right? I know he can. It's just that, you know, I thought Dave Filoni could do it too. But you know, we'll see. I'm excited for it just because I just want to see this, a Star Wars movie in the movie theaters again. I from the clip I've seen, it looks very, very promising.
Okay. I've only seen some images. I wasn't really a fan of Jabba's son in a gladiator match, but
yeah, I mean,
it might be all right. It might not be. I don't know.
I just hope that they have a direction in this movie. But I think, like I said, Jon Favreau, he said it in many, many interviews. You can always look it up. He said that he's always been a fan of Star Wars. He's always, he's appreciated everything Star Wars has done. I mean, he created Mando, right? And with Mando, if you actually look at some of the history of Mando, it was supposed to be Boba Fett.
Yep.
But they were like, nah, so he just rewrote it as for himself. But look how successful Mando season 1 and 2 was. Right?
Yep. I've been saying it for a while. And Far From Death Star said it, like, the big name actors, I don't think it's even remotely necessary. I think that the name Star Wars will get the same amount. Like, a big name actor doesn't fill the movie theater the way it used to.
Yeah.
And I think that they're locked into this old mindset, and from my perspective, like, you could hire a no-name actor or somebody that's done very few roles. You could hire them for less than you can hire the big name.
Well, when was the last time Star Wars had a successful movie hit?
When you say successful, are you talking about financially or
box office, or was it good?
Was it good, in your opinion?
In my opinion,
yeah.
I mean, Solo.
Rogue One.
There you go.
Well, Rogue One was the best, but like Solo was good. It was just kind of overshadowed by Marvel, but I mean, that was still a good movie.
Okay, but Rogue One, was there any well-known name besides Donnie Chen?
He wasn't even well-known to me.
No, not to me. No. I didn't know who he was.
Well, he's very famous.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, a small part.
I mean, but he's like a C-list actor.
Yeah, but
he's not a headliner.
Yeah.
Felicity Jones had done
a
good amount of movies. She's not like a headliner.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I think that's what they need, because I don't think you can go putting, like, some of these people, it's just so jarring when you see them in a Star Wars movie. It takes you out.
Well, even then, it does, to me, again, it's just one of those things where with the Starfighter, with the name Starfighter, it just sounds like they're just, like you said, making it up as they go along.
Yeah.
Right. And then with Sean Levy in it, like again, it's one of those where
I'll tell you what,
it's like, who's next? Ryan Reynolds in these movies? I bet you Ryan Reynolds is going to make us a cameo. How much you want to bet?
I could see him being like a stormtrooper, where kind of like Daniel Craig was, or something like that. I mean, I could see that. That stuff doesn't even really faze me. Like, you put somebody in there, and they're not really seen. Like, I don't really care about that.
Yeah. Does anybody know in the chat like what this Starfighter is all about?
I haven't heard anything.
All I just saw is that Starfighter, and out comes Ryan Gosling. No one says, "Hey, this movie is about after the sequels. This is what's happening." Nothing.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, but I just, oh man, I know. I feel like I'm, always. I'm just praying. I'm praying for the day. I'm praying for the day that one day someone realizes and say, you know what, we need to go back to the problem, which is the sequels. I know.
I don't think they'll ever do it because I don't think they have the.
There's a way. I think there's a way to do it.
I think there is, but I think if they do it, it's them admitting that they made a colossal mistake.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think their ego would allow it.
Well,
that's
then
the problem.
Then you know what? It's going to be really hard to watch any of these new movies.
I mean, I know there's a lot of people that like really go in hard, like mocking some of the stuff, in some of the movies nowadays, not just Star Wars, but basically like a lot of these ones that are just getting trashed, like they're garbage.
Yeah.
Like it's low hanging fruit to point out some of the obvious, just like horrible decisions that they're making.
No. Yes. But the thing too is that, and Marvel didn't have Iron Man, like, his character being underdeveloped, not like with Luke in the sequels. They don't have that, right? Iron Man, they did him right. Unfortunately, with Luke, they didn't do him right. So no matter what, whether it be after the sequels, before the sequels, a side story to the sequels, or anything around that timeline, not going to work. The only time I see a Star Wars movie being well received, and I won't say well received, but that will work well across the board, I think, is if they do Knights of the Old Republic, just to get away from that era. It's just that there's so many things that tie into the sequels, right? And that could be the downfall for Star Wars. But I think
that is their best bet to get as
far away
timeline to get as far away as possible. That way you don't have to deal with any negativity of the mistakes you made in the sequels.
Exactly, because this is again,
if they go do the exact same thing that they did there, they're asking for the same problems. Like it's almost like, but it's like they're not even just doing this with Star Wars. Like they're making colossal mistakes in a lot of their properties. Mm-hmm. Like they almost can't even get out of their own way. Like they're just making huge mistakes with these like damn near unmistakable properties. And then on top of that, like they're continuing to do it over and over and over again.
Yep.
And they're sitting there just like it's like they can't do the right thing. And for whatever reason, like they're almost trying to make people like what they're doing. And then if you don't like it, they just call you an ist or an ism. Like it's just it's insanity. Like they're doing the same thing over and over again, and then they're like just insulting the people that don't go watch it. Like at a certain point, you're going to insult everybody, and then nobody's going to go watch it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, again, we'll see what this Starfighter brings. I just think that it is just out of left field. I feel like it's gonna fall flat. Like that movie,
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
Yep. Is that what it was called? The one with what's the
but they went far enough to bring Gosling out to Celebration and on stage. I think this is going to happen. They pushed.
They brought Patty Jenkins and they did a whole thing talking about how she was going to do a.
Yeah, but she screwed herself with her mouth. She was running her lip a little too much, and I don't think Disney liked that. I think
What was she running her mouth about? Because I just thought it was the 1984 Wonder Woman that flopped,
That
and so
too.
they canceled her.
Oh no, I was thinking about the other girl, the Acolyte girl.
Oh,
yeah.
No,
yeah. I thought it was yeah. No,
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins, the Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So, like, the first thing I thought of when they called this Starfighter is this is basically going to be like, you know, an amalgamation of the Rogue Squadron or whatever, or X-Wing Squadron or whatever it was. Like, I thought it was going to end up being an amalgamation of that. But honestly, like they've announced so many different things and made a big to-do of it. I'll believe it when I see a trailer.
Well, I mean, again, we'll see. It's not.
Did they give an actual release date? Wasn't it like 2027?
I don't know.
May something of 2027.
I
they got to start filming like in next week.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should already have a script.
Yeah,
they should have
May 28, 2027.
Yeah, so they should like that's 2 years away.
Mm-hmm.
They should already have a full script. They should already have did they say who's directing it?
Yeah,
that's Levy.
Yeah. This is it's not a prequel, not a sequel. It's a new adventure. It's set in a period that we haven't seen explored yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, they should already have all this. This shit should be going
here you go.
film soon.
Star Wars Starfighter follows a 15-year-old boy on a mission with his uncle, played by Ryan Gosling. They're pursued by a duo of villains, one male, one female, Jesse Plemons and Jodie Comer, were officially offered as villains, but both declined. Okay. Mikey Madison was later approached for the female villain, but also passed. Okay, that's it. All right.
A bunch of people said they didn't want to be in it.
Yeah. I'll say the experience of I have no idea. Okay.
Did they say who the 15-year-old boy is?
No.
And 2 years out, this thing has got to start filming soon.
Yeah.
And that means that they should already have a full script. And
well, yeah, what happened with Charmin Obaid-Chino's Ray movie, James Mangold, Dawn of the Jedi, which is not the. There's so many movies that they say that they're going to do, but they're not being made. So we shall see.
I mean, I think the Ray one is a pretty good example of like they've announced something. They had a director, they had a main actor, and how long ago was that? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That they announced it? Nothing.
Yeah.
You know, the director ran her mouth off a lot. I mean, I'm sure that didn't help matters out.
Yeah.
But like, you know, as a whole, like, when are they going to tell these people just to shut their damn mouths and quit trying to alienate, you know, a portion of their fan base? You know, like it ain't working out for them.
Yeah, we shall see. All right, guys, it's getting late. Gotta head out. But yeah, 2.5 hours. We still have to tackle other things.
I know.
But all right, guys. Thank you guys for checking us out. I know we didn't get a chance to deep dive into Andor.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
So but we'll deep dive into it next week. We got like 6 episodes. We're probably gonna deep dive. So check us out. Same time, same place, same channel.
Yep.
The Sithcast channel. All right, Anthony, Sean.
Another one in the books.
Another one in the books.
Yeah.
All right,
now
guys.
We're gonna make like a baby and head out.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. May the midichlorians be with you guys always and forever. See ya.